Welcome to the championship final. We're here at the University of Loughborough, where we are going to watch the UWE Bullets take on the University of Nottingham. This is the third time these two teams have met here, and I'm so excited to have Sean Endicott joining me on this incredible adventure.
You know, some are calling it Touchdown Tuesday because you have BUCS Big Wednesday, but we're not on Wednesday yet. We're touching down here in Loughborough. 3 games. I've been here all day, not quite as long as the crew, but I'm doing great. Part of it being we had 2 great games, and we know the third one's going to be great as well.
Yeah, it is going to be great. I'm so glad you brought them up because I want to talk to you a little bit about our home team, which is UWE. Now, this is a team, they are looking to create their 4P this evening. They've been incredibly dominant. Now, someone that follows the league so intently, what are your thoughts on this team?
Well, they're special. You don't get to a point where they are without being special. We know that. Everyone who deals with UWE knows they're a talented team. They put in the work, they bring in the right people, and then it takes a special kind of coach to take that talent and capitalize it. And you look this year, I think they do things now that they didn't do 2 or 3 years ago, and it actually gives them a different way to beat people.
You're so right, because look, we talk so much about how you've got to reinvent yourself every single season, and head coach Dan Mayer has found a way. I mean, you're looking at offensive coordinator Frankie Pankhurst, who has led the league this season in points per game, and then ultimately looking at their defensive coordinator, you know, Coach T, who's been with them for 3 different years now, and these guys just keep finding ways to be successful. And I want to talk a little bit more about this is a team who really find a way to recruit really well. Tell us a little bit more about how that works within the university scheme here.
Success often breeds success, but you also need to know the tools that are available to you. UWE does a really good job of knowing what British education has to offer, why that's alluring to students in America, who, let's be honest, a lot of them are great players who thought they put their helmet on a shelf for the last time. UWE comes to them and says, wait a second, it's not over. You have an opportunity, you come here and play, and then now, because they've had the success, they can say, this person went on to Europe, this person won a final, this guy's in the ELF, and success breeds success.
You're spot on, because I was talking with Coach T a little bit earlier, and we'll see that interview in a little bit, but he talked about how they've got kids from all over, whether it's the ELF or GB programs, even a practice squad guy from the Panthers. I mean, you're recruiting so many different levels, and we've spoken so much about how that benefits the growth of the sport in this country. When you have perhaps an American quarterback or someone with a ton of experience in that position, and alternatively how that works defensively.
Of course, you want to elevate the game. BUCS wants to be an elite sporting destination, and you see that across other sports as well. You see table tennis has a bunch of scholars come in, rowing, fencing, and we're seeing it now in American football as well. On both sides of the pitch today, obviously a little bit more on one than the other, but ultimately the level of play is higher.
Absolutely. Well, let's go to our interview with Coach Ojuya now, the defensive coordinator of UWE. So excited to be here with Coach T. Ojuya, defensive coordinator of UWE Bullets for 3 years now. Yep. Coach, look, it's hard to deny the conversation going around about the 4P that potentially could happen here tonight. How are you keeping your athletes motivated on this evening?
To be honest, they're motivated enough. You know, it's a different group every year with a lot of our Masters guys. So every year that comes in, we remind them that they didn't win the one last year. They didn't win the one before. So for them, it's just going for that one that they can leave a legacy with.
I love that. And look, we talk so much about veteran leadership and presence within the locker room. How are you finding your empowered veteran athletes are really changing the culture within your building?
You know, we're very fortunate to have some guys who have played at the NCAA level. They've played in the ELF as well. And when they come here, they just help remind the younger guys that, you know, there's stuff after football as well. But in this moment, just appreciate the moment, enjoy the moment, because it's fleeting. It might not be here forever. So they do a good job of calming the guys down.
Yeah, and they'll need that on this evening, I'm sure. Look, we talk so much about iron sharpens iron, and going against coach, offensive coordinator Frankie Pankhurst, leading really the league in terms of highest scoring offense. How have you felt that relationship and perhaps battle has helped you and your team?
To be honest, Frankie and Coach Dan, they're 2 of my best friends. We talk all the time, probably more than we talk to our partners at this point. And I think that having that closeness means that we can speak about everything. You know, we talk about practice right after practice. We talk about it the next day when we should be working. And yeah, Frankie's the best in the country. I think that that's clear and that's on show. He knows what to do with top level talent, and that just makes me and my defense have to be better.
Absolutely. I'm so excited for this evening. Look, who are one or two of your players that you want us to really keep an eye on this evening?
So you've got Max Parkinson, defensive end for the Nordic Storm. He won a championship with Ryan Fire. He's been with us for 3 years now, kind of got on the IPP radar from being with us. I'm expecting him to have a big game. And then on the back end, Robbie Kendall. He's played in the ELF, he's played in GFL as well. One of our older guys, one of those veteran presences, and he's gonna, to be honest, I'm expecting him to have at least one pick in the game, but, you know, sure-handed, sideline to sideline guy. Really excited to watch him play as well.
Well, you heard it here first. At least one pick in the game. Coach T, best of luck this evening. We'll be rooting for you.
Thank you.
Well, we heard it there about the different players and the veteran leadership, which actually brings me quite nicely into the next team we're going to talk about, University of Nottingham, led by veteran head coach Jason Scott. And Sean, you were one of the coaches as well with University of Nottingham. So this is a team who they've met throughout the season. They've been equal. They've been here 3 times against UWE. This is a big battle for them, ultimately.
Yeah, it's a big battle. I coached University of Nottingham for about 5 years. This year I still film their games and stuff. And it's been so fun to watch from the outsider's perspective, seeing them in this National League. That first game, I remember watching the live stream, seeing that come down to that heave to Finley Old and setting up that game-winning score. And then UWE obviously on the return trip as well. So they know each other more this year than any previous year because they've now played twice before the final.
And that's what makes university system so interesting is you get the familiarity, but you also have athletes coming in and out of the system. Coach Jason Scott has been phenomenal, and he's got so much experience. What were some of the things you learned from coaching alongside him?
Jason builds programs and he builds people. And that was a huge thing. It's preached, and it's not just filler words. You can tell he not just cares, but he has a plan of action and they enact it. And if you look at what they do, their tackle system on defense, their film study, their preparation, that's what translates onto the field. It's so fun to watch these guys come in because, yes, there are recruits from the GB the under-19 game. Obviously, we know the Americans that are on University of Nottingham. But I got probably the most tender feelings when I watch these players come in, learn what is this sport, and then within 6 months, you're playing in a national final against an American scholar and making plays. I mean, what more could you want from a program than developing people and developing players?
Well, you've hit some really great messages, some repeated messages, because I spoke with Jason Scott, head coach, and he said a lot of the same things that this man just said. So let's check out that interview. I'm so excited to be here with head coach Jason Scott of University of Nottingham, but also GB head coach. Now, I just want to start this off because you just pointed to us a second ago saying you used to live in the building in the background.
Just 4 years in Hazelwood Rutland Hall. I mean, this is where it all began for me. Love for Aces back in 1998. Fell in love with university sport, fell in love with American football. I owe a lot to Loughborough, so it's kind of quite fitting. It's almost come full circle, and I'm back here on my old stomping ground.
We love that, and I mean, empowering so many different generations from your time in the States to being here. Now, this is the 3rd time that both you and UWE are meeting here. Tell me, what does that mean to be in the finals again in this position?
No, I just think it's just testament to the hard work the guys have put in all year. And it's not just the players, it's the coaches, it's the support staff, it's everyone at Nottingham Sport. 31 teams in BUCS Big Wednesday is phenomenal, and we all work together. I think what you'll see from the team today, it's a family vibe. We're working hard together. We believe in one another. We trust one another. So really, being back here again is just a culmination of those Thursday nights, those Tuesday nights, those early mornings, late nights, where we really kind of forged our team together. So yeah, we're just excited to be here, and I think we've got a good shot.
Yeah, and I love that it's all about the sacrifices that lead you to these moments. And
not sacrifices, Phoebe, we're talking about investments. Sacrifices are when you give something and get nothing back. We invest our time, we get it back with interest.
I love that. A little bit of sweat equity in there as well,
Absolutely.
If I can go there. Fantastic. And all season long, you have played UWE. You guys are tied throughout this series. What have you done to change or not change what you're doing coming to a game like this? Like, what is that messaging?
We don't focus on our opponent, we focus on us. We know what we're capable of. We look at the data, we look at the scout, and try not to get emotional about it. I think we're really good at breaking down. I think in Ben Davis, Matt Gorn and Alec Glenn, we've got 3 of the premier coordinators in the country. They put our guys in a position to succeed. So it's not about UWE, it's not about Durham, it's not about Loughborough, it's not about Beckett, it's about University of Nottingham and doing what we do and executing the plan.
Look, we are so excited for you. We'll be rooting for you out there. Thank you so much,
Thanks,
Coach,
Phoebe.
for your time.
Cheers, bye.
Football America UK, your ultimate destination for all things American football. Visit our Midlands-based showroom to try on and get fitted for the latest gear. Or shop online for a huge range of equipment, NFL merchandise, and personalized teamwear stores. Plus, with Klarna, ClearPay, and PayPal Pay in 3, getting the gear you need has never been easier. Get game ready with Football America UK, in-store or online at footballamerica.co.uk.
Glasses of milk for everyone all around afterwards, I think, and you should be milking every moment, and that's what we're going to introduce. Milk Every Moment, a new campaign to help students understand the benefit of milk on their sporting performance. An affordable, natural, versatile and widely available choice after exercise. Milk provides a whole host of nutrients, vitamins and minerals to help fuel your workouts. A great option if you are on a budget.
What's your favourite recipe to make using milk?
Mac and cheese. I was going to go with strawberry milk. Pancakes.
Yeah. Nice.
With that in mind, let's talk about milk, and BUCS being proud to promote the Milk Every Moment campaign.
Milk provides high quality protein which helps support muscle growth and repair, and B vitamins to assist with energy release. A glass of milk is great for refueling and repairing those tired muscles after a physical match.
Hello and welcome to the booth. We are here on this absolutely gorgeous night, continuing our coverage of this National League final. I'm Sean Endicott here with Phoebe Schechter. Isn't this exciting?
I am so excited. Anytime you get the opportunity to play under the lights, Tuesday night lights, we're making our own thing up here, and I love it. I mean, you can feel the atmosphere from the players. This is amazing for them. They don't often get opportunities like this to showcase out on this big platform. You can see some of the NFL Academy kids coming to watch, families, even just passerbys wanting to know what's going on here.
Yeah, you can tell this is a big event. And I was talking to just a security guard on over there, and he was saying, "Wow, you can tell this is the big show." You can tell. He says, "Oh, these are the best of the best, then, huh?" And I said, "Yeah, exactly right. This is it. The National League." Highest league. This is the first ever year we've had a National League, Phoebe. So we get a unique dynamic of these two teams. They've actually played each other twice. The last 2 times Nottingham and UWE met in the finals, they hadn't played each other until the finals. Now they've gone back and forth and they split those games.
And that's what makes this so incredibly tense, because this is truly the deciding factor. Who is the better team? And, you know, both these sides have the abilities. They've adjusted their game plans throughout. And talking to both coaches, you know, at the end of the day, it comes down to just sticking to your authentic self, sticking to the core values of who they are, whether it's Coach Dan Mayer of UWE or Coach Jason Scott of UON. These teams have such clear identities, and we get to watch them battle it out this evening.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. And one of the great things about the National League all year, and this isn't just UON and UWE, this is the whole National League, it's just been a higher level of American football within the university. The more competitive games, and when you play more competitive games, you get even better. So at the second half of the year, these teams were even stronger. So now it's you're really getting people hitting into their stride.
Yeah, and this is what we love to see, right? Because exactly to your point, you want to see the best tackles. You want to see those incredible contested catches. These are the moments, these are the highlight reel elements that we look for. And we're so excited to be able to witness here tonight. And both of these teams want to put on an absolute show. I mean, even speaking with our officials earlier, they are so thrilled to be out here and they want to do the absolute best job possible. Everybody, it's like a black tie event for us all.
Yeah, it really is. It's kind of, yeah, it really is for British American football. If you look around, especially, we see these shots of the field and the surrounding areas, you see so many different team colors. Yeah, you got some from the games that were previous, Warwick Wolves, SGS, but you also just see every GB program is pretty much represented here from what I've seen. I've seen GB flag, contact, men's, women's, under 19, adult, under 17. You get all these different universities, and then you get all these old staples. I've seen like the former BAFCA presidents that are here. You have people that have worked for BAFA, with BUCS obviously because it's their event, and it's just really great. And as we mentioned that, all the BAFCAs and BAFAs of the world, we also have BAFRA with our officials walking on the pitch. We have our white hat leading a herd of zebras onto the pitch. I believe we have an 8-man crew for the third time today. All 3 finals have had full crews. I mean, heck, there are NFL games that probably don't have 8 officials. So, I mean, we're really spoiled.
Yeah, it is definitely rolling out the red carpet, and fantastic to have all those eyes on the game. It goes to speak to the level and standard of which we're going to be able to watch tonight. And we look at the 2 games we had earlier today, and I love to see that those athletes have stayed and are wanting to watch this because they get to see what that next level up looks like, what it feels like. This is a key part for them too because they want to be on this big stage one day.
Yeah, exactly right. It's so fun to watch how this game has grown. I remember, I coached 2 of the finals between UWE and UON, and then
Casual flex.
and then obviously watching last year UWE win. And then obviously they're back here. It really is so fun, and it's seeing the BUCS game continue to grow. I would say in many ways, BUCS is exemplifying what American football is supposed to be in the UK in terms of coaching level and facilities. And I mean, you look at tonight's broadcast as evidence of that.
Yeah, I mean, just look at how many people it's taking to make an event like this happen. The different organizations you were listing earlier, the professionalism behind it, the buzz and noise around it. I mean, this is the start of Big Wednesday, which is huge. So our Touchdown Tuesday is leading on to all these different sports. So it's also incredible to see some of the athletes from the other sports who will be competing tomorrow coming and seeing perhaps something that's brand new to them. They've never seen American football in real life.
And if you look at this venue, obviously Loughborough is known for sport, not just American football. They're one of the best sporting universities in the UK. Loughborough College, obviously, among the highest ranks in their respective leagues as well. So it's pretty obvious. You look around here, these facilities are great, and you can tell these Loughborough athletes are kind of sniffing around, and they don't live far from here. In fact, you mentioned, I think Jason told you in his pregame interview that he used to live at a building you and I can see right now. So these students they're going, oh, what's going on over there? I got to see that.
It's so true. And look, I mean, I feel motivated just being here. You're surrounded by absolute superstar athletes. I mean, this organization, this university is known for the amount of athletes they've had come through the Olympics. Our studio, you can see it in the image, is the big red screen there. On the back side of us is the massive Loughborough gym. I'm feeling a little motivated, go in there, lift a little bit, come back out.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. That's what halftime's for, right?
That's what halftime's for, exactly. 20 minutes, get it done.
So we have the officials standing at the ready. I believe we're going to have the teams come up here pretty soon, though I don't quite see them yet. So the officials look like they're eager to go, but I think they're going to have to wait a couple minutes. So we'll continue telling you about this. So for those who haven't followed the British American game, or if just maybe you're in a different league, so you haven't paid too much attention to the National League, University of Nottingham pulled out a victory. And I say pulled out only because the nature of it was a last-minute drive where they drove down the field on a massive pass to veteran player Finley Old. Cadwallader showing in his first game with the University of Nottingham Gold team what he can do at quarterback, putting them into scoring position and then punching it in the end zone, winning that first game. UWE had not lost a home game in several years there, and obviously Nottingham upset them. Well, on the return trip, UWE paid it back. It was still a one-score game, but UWE did have that victory in hand, and so their point differential was certainly single digits. I think it was less than 5 in terms of total point differential. And so that they've really been good matchups against each other.
And again, that's what makes tonight so fantastic, right? You're talking about the best of the best, and it's been such fine margins. Ultimately, you're looking at these 2 head coaches who have fantastic coaching staffs with Dan Mayer and what they've done at UWE and the athletes that they've been able to recruit. We heard them talking about the practice squad guys they've had from NFL teams, the Division I athletes as well, to then looking at Coach Jason Scott and what they've done with UON. I mean, you've had true players that have played in youth programs, building all the way up and getting to this level. I mean, this is what it's all about. And we get to witness something so exciting tonight where these two teams understand everything that's on the line right here. So it's going to be whoever makes the fewest mistakes here.
And here is the University of Nottingham team. They're lining up with their flags up front. If you're looking, let's see, on the left side of the screen, you see number 2, I believe one of their team captains for the day. I'd have to check that, but even if not, it's Quinn Williamson. So he's one of the star players of this team. Good to see him on defense. I don't actually see a captain star next to him today. But in any event, Williamson's one of the Americans brought over, sets a really strong tone on the edge for the defense, and he's carrying the flag for Nottingham today. Alongside him is Jack Redhead running out with that University of Nottingham Gold team. Their jerseys emblazoned by the sparklers as they run through.
What an environment this is. I mean, how cool is this to be able to run out onto this field with the sparklers, your entire team. Some of them, this is going to be their last time playing with UON. This is a huge, momentous evening for them. And you can feel the buzz. Coach Jason Scott making his way onto the field. Fantastic entrance.
And I love the contrast with because this is a night game, first one of the day. The other ones where it was quite bright out, and you get that contrast with the sparklers on the jerseys, the numbers, the white on the University of Nottingham uniforms lighting up. It just looks great, and you can feel the energy. They're exploding onto the field, much like those sparklers.
You're so right. I mean, look, this is going to be their moment. They've got to find a way to just pull it together. They've been here before. They know what this means, and that's what makes these teams so dangerous as well, is the fact that both teams know exactly what it's like to be on this level. They don't really have an advantage or disadvantage in that state.
No, you're right. There's not a ton of difference in terms of how they feel in this moment. A lot of them have been here before and in similar games, as we see the UWE Bullets and their flag getting ready to go. That Bullets logo alongside it. It's a slightly bigger flag, so maybe they're trying to make a statement. And their flag coming out, number 50 leading the charge for the UWE Bullets. I believe that's some pretty hard rock that they've chosen for their entrance music, Phoebe. I think they're ready to go. They look pretty amped.
So they are. They're trying to send that message. You've got to differentiate yourself here, and they're coming out ferocious and even walking around pre-game. Both teams are warming up, and you started to hear the kind of chirpiness between the two teams. And that was before anything had even happened before them. So these teams are so hyped to be able to take on one another and truly decide who are the kings of BUCS.
Yeah, and you look and you say in the previous years when you met in the final, you had this rivalry in that you both knew you were the best. That you knew you were the best two teams. If we're being completely honest, most of the years that UON and UWE went to the finals, you kind of knew they were the favorites to get there. But you hadn't been hit by that linebacker. You hadn't trucked a guy before. You hadn't scored over that player. Now they have that personal experience, not just with UWE as a program and UON as a program, but the individual people you're lining up against. You say, I don't like that person. They hit me, I hit them, and I want to make a statement.
It is. It's personal, and that's what we love to see, because when it's personal like that, every single hit, every single catch matters. You feel like you are stamping your identity on the other team. And these two teams, we talk about it, they know how to prepare. They have the best coaches in the country on both sides of the ball for these teams. So this is where the true offensive, defensive, and special teams special mindsets come together here, and special teams is going to play a big role. We talk about it so much. Field position is going to be key.
Yeah, exactly right. Most people that have followed Coach Jason Scott understand his emphasis on special teams, and in previous years and throughout this season, it's been a big factor for them that a kick return is the quickest way to change momentum in a game. The other team scores, you score back, all of a sudden, you actually end up better off. Even though the exact number of points is the same, you suck the air out of them when you make a big play on special teams, almost more so than offense or defense, because it's a bam, right there. It shocks you and it just sucks out that energy. It's a huge factor.
It is, and we saw it earlier in the games with 2 attempted onside kicks, one being successful, and how it can truly be a deciding factor in this game. But both these teams have veteran leadership. Both these teams know what it's going to take to be able to be successful. They've got such a huge repertoire of athletes and accomplishments on both sides of the ball. I mean, it's hard to even pick who could be the one this evening.
And quarterback play is going to be key on the UWE side. We have Donovan Isom as the starting quarterback tonight, though I think we might see a few different looks on who's actually behind center. And then over on the University of Nottingham side, we have Dylan Cadwallader. Both of them have been key instruments as we quiet down for the anthem. The officials are getting ready. UWE on the close sideline wearing black up top, red lowers, and then we have University of Nottingham on the far side with gold up top and their green lowers. The officials are going to get ready for handshakes as we see captains come out onto the field for both squads. I don't have a number for a name for number 50 on UWE, our roster. I don't think it's quite got that one up to date. He's on the roster, but it's under a different number. So I'm missing some of the names on there, but we have the 4 UWE captains on the bottom of your screen about to walk up, facing off with 4 University of Nottingham captains.
And whilst we're waiting for them to walk out, you were talking about Donovan Isom, the quarterback. I was out on the field with him, and my goodness, he is almost built like a defensive lineman, if I'm being honest with you.
He's a unit and a half. I mean, if he fell forward, he'd gain 4 yards. He's a very large man. He's big, he's strong, he's tall, and he's got a cannon for an arm.
Yeah, has a very Anthony Richardson feel about him, I would say.
Yeah, I would say, yeah, it's like almost even broader shoulders. I mean, he's just a really big guy. As we see the captains shaking hands, they look so friendly before they go to hit each other. I'm quite interested by this, Phoebe. We've actually seen this come into play throughout the day where the teams seem to prefer going towards, I guess, the sports courts that are just off the side. I believe on your screen it's going to be going to the left. They prefer to go to what on your screen is the left right now. I'm not sure why. I guess there's a little bit more contrast. We've seen that. There's no wind today.
No, there's no wind. I wonder if it has something to do with the level of the fields, or...
I think it might have to do with being able to see behind it. If you're throwing on one side of the pitch, there's nothing. So if you throw looking at the end zone, you can't really judge things as well. On this side, because there's lights and stuff, it might be a little bit easier to spot. But I've seen 2 teams pick that. I mean, SGS called a timeout in their final just to have a drive going in that direction. So, well, that's what we're having.
It's very interesting because also, the scoreboard is down in that area, but it doesn't give you the time. And I almost would feel, for those at home, you can't see it, but there are lots of other sports going on behind that. It almost might be distracting seeing some of the basketballs and paddle balls and all the other sports that are happening in that court going on in the background.
Maybe we're squinting and pulling at straws here. I'm not sure. I just thought it was interesting that we've seen 2 teams elect that as the better way to go.
No, you're spot on, and I think it's a great point to bring up because we can see what happens. We even saw the game before where they intentionally took a timeout in order to try and score in that end
they
zone.
used their 3rd timeout of the second half in the 3rd quarter just to maintain one side of the pitch. In any event, here is UWE ready to kick off. University of Nottingham and their special teams unit set to receive. Look for some tricky plays out of this University of Nottingham special teams unit. We're off in the first ever National League Championship. Here is a reverse from the University of Nottingham. UWE saw that coming, but that didn't stop the University of Nottingham from getting out to about the 24.
No, really nice. You're going to have to keep going back and forth to that. That is something that is so tricky to be able to defend at times, especially when they are so precise with what they're able to do. It was a nice job there by UWE, number 85, who was really disciplined on that. That's one of the hardest things on special teams, when you've just got so much eye candy and eye wash going on in front of you, to stay disciplined.
Cadwallader and the University of Nottingham offense ready to kick things off. Starting for this University of Nottingham team, moving around, switching his receivers, putting Finley Old at the top of your screen. Well, top in terms of the slot, he's now top slot. Spread formation. Cadwallader, quick pass over the middle. That's a slant route for a gain of 10. You're going to hear that name quite a lot. That's John Mbenefo, one of the star receivers for the University of Nottingham, and he has great chemistry with Cadwallader.
Great chemistry and just nice, simple play designs, right? Double slants coming in. It gives an easy read to a quarterback. It helps them just to feel confident, get that ball out quickly. Fantastic job. Just keep moving the ball down the field. That's the biggest thing here.
I've seen a lot of American quarterbacks come through the BUCS game, and Cadwallader's definitely in the top tier when it comes to football knowledge and game intelligence. He really sets himself apart in terms of knowing the game and reading defenses. And he's ducked his shoulder to take it up, and he's scrambled around. Does a good job to not get kind of leveled. He just rolled off enough where it's a hit, but it's not a smack, I should say.
No, you're right, and that's Leon Kloschwitz who comes in with the tackle on that one, but it's a great skill to have from a quarterback, knowing how to protect yourself. You're early in the game. You don't need to do anything too cute right now. You want to pace yourself. You're only a couple minutes into this.
Yeah, and they want to slam you down like a postage stamp. I mean, you can't give them a chance to be square up against you, and Cadwallader rolled off there. Obviously, good tackle by the defense as well. Got a H-back in the backfield. Finley Old peels out, and that's a bit of a high pass, a little too high out the outstretched arms.
That was with linebacker mugged up. They're trying, so standing in one of the A-gaps, trying to disguise what they're doing. This is what happens when you've got intelligent quarterbacks. As a defense, you have to do a little bit extra. You've got to be able to play with the vision that they have. So really nice job by the defense. The ball was just a little bit high. He's got to step in and really put it on his receiver.
So 3rd and 6 as we see them line up. Empty formation. Now there's going to be a flag here. It might be delay a game, perhaps?
Yeah, unfortunately, we don't see the clock, the countdown.
Encroachment by the offense is not a call you see a lot, Phoebe. I guess he was lined up too far forward?
So one of the things you have to do as a receiver, you've always got to check with the line judge. Make sure that you are lined up appropriately. Interesting that, I don't know if he did or did not, but you look for that thumbs up, get the nod. That's pretty much something that receivers are taught every single
He's
play
done that
to
a few
do.
thousand times. So.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see what happens. In this case, he's on the line of scrimmage again. So now it's 3rd and 11 for University of Nottingham. Linebackers of UWE crouching up, moving back and forth, trying to fool. There is going to be blitz up the middle. A lot of pancake pressure. Cadwallader is going to run it himself, and he's got a lane down the sideline. He has wheels, Phoebe. People might not know that because how much he's thrown throughout the year, but trust me, he's one of the faster guys out there.
That was very impressive to see his burst speed. I have not seen that like that. I mean, what a great way to start showing the different weapons that you can offer. This defense are now going to have to be aware of what they can do. So adjusting their game plan now that they know that he's got wheels like this.
He had about a 55-yard touchdown run in the last playoff game, and I don't think the defense quite expected to be outrun by a quarterback. We'll see 2 different types of running when it comes to quarterback play today. UON sorting out the receivers at the bottom of your screen, trying to avoid another penalty. That's going to be a jet sweep, trying to get the outside edge. He has one block, gets outside. That's a pancake block, but there is going to be a flag. I think they're going to say that pancake came from a hold.
Yeah, and interesting going empty formation. This is something people love to do because it forces the defense to really tell themselves, right? You're very limited in terms of your defensive scheme versus empty.
Yeah, and I know UON runs quite a bit of empty. We saw that in the last game in the playoffs. So we wait for the call. So that's in Benefo with the hold. On those wide runs, sometimes you end up with your hands on the wrong side. You're going to hold them. And that's credit to UWE for forcing that as well.
It is. I feel like it was a little bit unnecessary to twist him to the floor and throw him down.
That's probably
so that kind of gives you away.
Yeah. So here's Cadwallader on 1st and 20. About where they started this drive, but technically a new set of downs. 3 receivers at the bottom of your screen. Then that's going to be dropped. That pass was just a little bit behind his receiver. That's Silas Starr. He had to reach a little bit behind that and could not haul it in.
But nice job picking apart this zone defense. He's being decisive with the football. Like you said, now it's just more the accuracy. Putting on his receiver, allow that receiver to run into it, protect them a little bit as well from the defenders on either side. Put on their upfield shoulder so they can continue that speed there.
You look at the top of your screen, you can see play calls being signaled in, and they have to use the dummy calls, which those who watch college football are familiar with play calls being signaled in that way. Cadwallader, 3 of his best receivers at the bottom of your screen. But he's going to have to roll out. There's a lot of pressure. He's throwing it deep. And that ball was just over the head of everybody. Just had to throw that away.
Probably a safer call there. I mean, you're 2nd and 20. He got flushed out of the pocket, throwing off his back foot like that. It goes to show his strong arm that he has, though. He was able to do that with 0 base underneath him. Love to see the signs that our fans are having out here. Fantastic.
Now the question is, which number 30 is that? Is that Sam Goodwin-Lyon?
That's what I've got for number 30.
UWE probably has a 30 as well, but I assume on the colors it was UON. Here's Cadwallader. Now this is 3rd and eternity. They're close to midfield if they get halfway here, so you have to start wondering about going for it on 4th. Drops back, rolls out. He's got a little bit of time. He's got a platform to go with, and I think he's going to scramble this for a big gain. And he gets about probably 12 yards on that run, and now it's a big decision. Do you go for this?
Huge decision here, and I think it was a really nice job by the offensive line, to their credit, being able to block for that long. You're going to look at number 77. He stays on his block versus 53, gives his quarterback a chance, and then downfield, Force trying to block for him. You've just got to be smart, right? Sometimes it's better to just give up than get a penalty.
Yeah, 77, Emil Thurston there, and then Christian Oyo at left tackle. But University of Nottingham does go for a punt, trying to flip the field position. It's still 0-0, so field position a big part of this game. Clean snap, good hold. There's a bit of pressure, and that's going to be blocked. UWE's going to be able to pick that up, and they're going to advance it 2 or 3 more yards, bring that ball inside the 10.
Wow, Elijah Williams comes flying through. I mean, he took it textbook off the top of his toe. You could hear the football. Oh my goodness, what a special teams play. Special teams for special players.
Well, you called it. You said early in the game, and here we have it. He tries to get that off and just not a block. Unfortunately, for UON, unfortunately, that pressure came in. You got to seal those guys out. It's not just about squaring up. You got to get them out away from your punter.
And that, correct me, is Max Parkinson, who had the one-handed block using that length, and then it was recovered.
Yep.
Fantastic teamwork.
And here's UWE on the outside handoff looking for a gap. Doesn't seem to find anything. I think he maybe got a yard because he pushed forward, but good pursuit by UON.
It was really nice job. We've talked about all night, setting the edge, forcing that player back inside. These guys are quick. You don't want to let them get outside into no man's land.
Nottingham talking there about what happened. I believe Cadwallader is anxious to get back on the field quickly, but that conversation you saw is with Coach Jason and the shield protection from the last play on the block. 2 running backs stacked on the right side for UWE. Wide receiver wide out to his left on his lonesome. And that's going to be a run up the middle. And he's found a bit of a seam. And he gets driven back eventually, but not before gaining about 5 yards. That's a nice run.
Really nice run, and I was speaking with the coaches earlier from UE, and they said to keep an eye on Josh Brees and how fantastic that he has been. He's a player that's played in the EFL and really just sets the tone for this team.
You have to start thinking as well about Donovan Isom. Look at that big frame, number 18. He's literally bigger than 4 of his offensive linemen when you see them there in the huddle.
I mean,
and he is an option running up the middle, and he can do other things as well. Obviously, he's got a big arm. Handoff. There is Brees. Trucks past one, moves forward. I mean, it depends a bit on the spot, but I believe he's in. Yeah, that's going to be let's see on the refs here. UE is not celebrating as much as a touchdown would suggest, but I don't think that is a... Is that a score? I haven't seen a signal.
The touchdown just came through on the screen, so a score there by the running back. I mean, this is what we just said. It's going to be dangerous, especially in the red zone. It's hard to stop him. Really, Brees has done a fantastic job of his balance, his contact balance, and then that burst. He kept trying to find that gap. Really nice job by his blockers.
And UWE's not known for their kicking of extra points. They're known for going for it, and they have a wide run to the right. Good pursuit by Nottingham. I think they're going to be able to stop him. He cuts all the way back. He's trying to gain some yards, turns it all the way back up, and then is dragged out of bounds. That's a long walk for not a big drink.
Wow. I mean, but really great job by University of Nottingham. That's a huge play here. You watch Brees just come across, and the pursuit here, the initial contact by number 55, fantastic job, and then staying on top of it, not giving up. This goes to the fundamentals. This goes to the messaging that we heard yourself, Coach Jason Scott, talking about earlier.
Yeah, it's a really great job by Brees. It's a fun run to watch if you're a UE fan or just neutrally loving American football. UE setting up here for their second kickoff because they did open the game with one as well.
Yeah, and that was 55, Fletcher Cornwall from University of Nottingham. Terrific job by him in that situation.
We also see here, as University of Nottingham gets an extra person onto the field to fill out 11. What was I going to say? See a coach in shorts. It's actually surprisingly chilly outside. I was a bit surprised to see that. It's cooled off a lot since the earlier games.
It has. That's why I dressed like Mrs. Claus earlier.
That's what I heard.
Everyone at home.
And here we have a deep kick. Another chance for University of Nottingham to return. Do they do any reverses? No. Just following lead blockers, and he's got some space. Twirls his way up and spins. That's quite a nice run back for the University of Nottingham.
That was really nice.
Is that Silas again? I believe Silas Starr?
Silas Starr, again,
Yeah.
someone who went to Stanford University, originally from Portland. I mean, he was actually included in the game winner versus UE Week 1 that you were talking about.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, well, it was set up by a big play to Finley Old from Cadwallader, but I believe Starr was the one who punched it in. Just follows his blocks here. No tricks. Just take the first 10 yards as free, and then you earn the rest of them, and that's exactly what they did. There's Jason Scott. His team down 6-0 at the moment. Alongside him, Coach Amo. Quite a few friendly faces if you know the Nottingham program as well on that sideline and then behind the sideline. Here's Cadwallader, empty formation again.
Delay game on the offense, number 10. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
I think Cadwallader, one thing that he's going to get used to here in this final is with a little bit of noise that's going on. The referees are supposed to give you a warning call for 10 seconds, but I won't lie. Sometimes it's pretty hard to hear. I wonder if that's something that can be clarified because they just gave up 5 yards and they were ready to go.
Yeah, and perhaps that's a conversation for the officials and coaches at halftime. A lot of times that happens before the game as well, but in an environment like this where you have lots of noise, lots of cheering all around, the excitement under the lights, you're going to expect that, right? I mean, this is what you want in a big game like this, challenging in different ways.
And it's one of the differences between some of the stadiums that some of these American players have probably been in before. There's no play clock on the field, and so you really have to listen to that official. And the official, if you look behind Cadwallader, he's pretty far away. But in any event, it's now second and about 13. Cadwallader looking at the left. He's going to have to scramble around. He's going to get a little bit of time, and he's just going to flip that ball out to make sure that it's a 0 play.
Interestingly enough, on that play, you saw defensive end Max Parkinson from UWE jumping, and Cadwallader is such a smart athlete. He's going to take advantage when he sees you jump like that, and it just gave him that little bit of space to find the crease, and unfortunately we actually see him hopping off the field. Max Parkinson, that is.
And Parkinson's a great defensive player. Obviously, UWE has quite a bit of depth, but Parkinson is among their best. We saw in these matchups between them, Parkinson's made quite a few plays. So perhaps a little bit of a chance for a few plays where Parkinson's off. UWE's got 4 men on the line. Cadwallader dropping back. He's got some time in the pocket. He's looking, and that's going to be a catch. And then turning upfield is John and Benefo. It's enough for a first down, and then just manages to secure it to the ground. I think he knew a big hit was coming. Said, wait a second. Let's just make sure we get this first and then get another play.
Yeah, Elijah Williams coming in on the tackle from UWE. Nice play, nice decision. You're going to have to be protective of the football. That was out there, and you know this UWE team will want to be advantageous and try and punch that football out. Now they've seen how they're able to handle the football.
Cadwallader communicating with the bottom of his screen. They've been in empty quite a bit. We know that's a formation Cadwallader likes. Drops back. Oh, he's going to get pressured. He's going to have to throw that down. I think Thurston on the right side for UON unfortunately got driven back, and I think Cadwallader felt the pressure.
Yeah, this defensive line is no joke. They are so physical. They do such a great job of their communication, any of the stunts that they're able to utilize. You see already number 42,
Yep.
Leon Klaskowski, really doing a nice job communicating with that defensive line, make sure everyone's on the same page.
Yeah, how do we pronounce it? Klausowicz? He really drew in some pressure, and I think they're starting to mix up where some of this pressure is coming from, and that's something you're going to have to adjust to. UWE bringing in the heat. This time they only rush 4. Cadwallader has some time. Finley Old bobbles it, ultimately makes a catch and gains some yards. And then he gives the little head tap to the helmet of the defender.
I mean, this is what I love, though, as well. When you're seeing the same defense, offense, time and time again, you see them helping each other up, giving them a pat when they do something good like that. Look, number 13 is a bigger boy, and you got to sometimes make a business decision.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
His teammate gave him a pat on the head, and then Finn said, "Here, I'll give you another one." Here's Cadwallader. I believe he's in the empty. I don't know if we've seen a running back so far for Nottingham's offense.
A little bit of motion play from him previously.
And he's going to roll out. That probably could have been a hold. I'm not sure that they called it. They've called a catch, but it's going to be 4th down. It's going to be 4th down. They're just short. They're probably – no, they're going to give him the first here. Yeah, I couldn't spot quite the marker there. So he's got a first down for Nottingham, 1st and 10.
Nice catch by number 87, who also is a kick returner for Nottingham, Jack Bonicato, a scholar receiver and previously at University of Puget Sound. I mean, he's had 7 touchdowns this season, including a kick return touchdown last week against Beckett.
They have 2 players that used to live out in that Puget Sound area, and I used to live about 10-15 minutes from their campus. It's a wonderful area.
Stomping grounds. Very similar weather to England.
It is very similar this time of year. Here's Cadwallader finally has a running back in the backfield. Of course, he doesn't throw that way. He's going to run, and then Benefo gets hit by 2 UWE defenders. The whistles are there. A little bit of afters bumping into each other, but nothing that these teams aren't used to.
No, a little bit of a muffed block there by number 88, Emmanuel Ize. He just needed to get that inside shoulder of the defender and would have given his receiver a bit more of an opportunity there, especially in such a key situation.
Yeah, I also think I might have made a mistake on the downs because I thought they had gotten the first, but that was 4th down. So it's now UWE ball. I apologize. So here is big Donovan Isom. He's got 2 running backs in the backfield, one next to him, one up at fullback, and as he scans the field. High snap over his head. He's going to have to try to recover that. A broken play. Nottingham makes a solid tackle. That's a huge loss. You got to let go, though, to stop any flags.
I think he was holding on for dear life. He had no idea.
And I got to say, Phoebe, if you snap it over Donovan Isom, that's a very high snap. He is not a short person.
Not at all. And that was number 24, Garrett Pittman, coming in. Again, another scholar safety. He'd previously been at Pomona Pitzer University. And honestly, what a great job. Way to pursue, read the situation. Now they've gone into empty, so interesting situation that they're going to try and pull out.
Nottingham mixing up. We have some different defensive looks coming in from Nottingham on that play. UWE builds back some of the yards, so it'll be about 3rd and 12.
It's great. Matt Gahn from University of Nottingham is now our GB women's defensive coordinator. Previously my DB coach. Just a fountain of knowledge. Constantly finding creative ways, sleeps, breathes, thinking of football schemes. So it's no wonder we're seeing so many different elements here.
Yeah, him and Coach Davies really cook up a good scheme and make a good unit. It's really fun to watch, and Jack Redhead's a big part of that. He's one of the stars of the youth game coming up here into the university side in the National League. As Isom looks deep, he's got some time and he's throwing deep, but he overthrows his receiver. As you can see, he's got quite the arm, but just did not quite have the timing on that one.
No, and what was great to see on that was the right D end. I wasn't able to catch which number, the speed at which he got around that left tackle. I mean, he had pressure right on Isom like that, getting his ankle tapped. This is a great win for this team, right? In terms of making that huge defensive stop, forcing them to punt the ball on 4th and 12. Really nice put together drive.
Yeah, now we have 4th and 12, as you said, for UWE trying to flip the field with this punt. They don't punt often, but he gets that one off. It's a high punt with a friendly roll to UWE. That away call from Nottingham, telling them to clear the path. UWE's going to wait for that to stop rolling. Take your time.
Every roll counts, you know.
Hey, you know what? You gain 1 or 2 yards on that roll. It adds up. It adds up.
It does. It does. No, it was a nice punt. Really good job. I think sometimes people still are unsure when to run away from the ball, when to be near the football in these special teams situations. So love to hear the communication coming across on the microphones out there.
The thing that's always confused me is once you hear an away call, why are you even within 20 yards of it? Just run like it's a hand grenade. Just get out of there.
Back in our empty formation again.
Cadwallader looking quick, got to his left. He's going to scramble a bit. He's got a quick pass underneath, and that's Finley Old for a nice conversion of a few yards.
I think these two will be going at it all game long today. That little check down like that, not giving much space at all. It's nice to see that he's making these good decisions, especially early on. You're looking at where you are on the field. Let's just move the ball and get some completions.
Yeah, and when you have quick processing speed as a quarterback, you can do that because you can afford to look at those deep routes and then say, you know what, they're not there. Let's just get a few yards and fight again. And it's almost like a run in terms of like, oh, just take a couple cheap yards here and there. That's going to be a big hit by UWE. It's a gain by Nottingham, but a solid hit by that UWE defensive back.
Number 88 coming up big again in that situation. Emmanuel Eze, we've said his name quite a few times this evening. That's hard to be able to catch that football and hold on with someone hitting you at full speed like that. But really nice job, secured the football, lived to play another down.
Now it's 3rd and 1. That's interesting. It's 3rd and 1, but I believe Nottingham's going to come out in empty with no running back. But that's what you're most comfortable with, so you don't change based on other things. You play your own game. We've seen that throughout the day for various teams. Cadwallader looking around, good to scramble, and there's that check down you've talked about so many times. Finley Old securing it.
When you've got someone who is your anchor in your team with secure hands, knows how to come friendly to the quarterback with body language. What's great about the situation is because Cadwallader is such a great running threat, they rush 4 and they're able to spy him just in case of so short yardage. And that's where you talk about Finley Old stepping up and being right where he needs to be, understanding where the sticks are.
Exactly right. Here's Cadwallader in the empty again. Silas Starr at the right of your screen. And he's got some time, and there's Starr, and that's a quick completion. And as we end this first quarter, we'd like to thank our sponsors for helping make this stream possible.
This is the end of the first quarter.
Football America UK, your ultimate destination for all things American football. Visit our Midlands-based showroom to try on and get fitted for the latest gear. Or shop online for a huge range of equipment, NFL merchandise, and personalized teamwear stores. Plus, with Klarna, ClearPay, and PayPal Pay in 3, getting the gear you need has never been easier. Get game ready with Football America UK, in-store or online at footballamerica.co.uk.
Thanks very much to all of our sponsors, including Football America that you've just seen, and then also Milk, believe it or not. Now, some people don't know this. This actually sponsored by Milk, not a company, the beverage, because you need to milk every moment. It's one of the original sports drinks. It's high in protein, very nutritious, readily available, assuming you can drink it. And it's one of our sponsors for today. It's Milk. You got to milk every moment, Phoebe.
I agree. Look, I always love chocolate milk after a workout. It's the perfect protein for after those lifts. And I was going to say, where are they finding all these Americans do these voiceovers? Sean, I thought that was going to be your voice for Football America.
It wasn't me. I wish it was. They can give me a call if they need another one.
We'll shout out Football America on that one. You've got some Americans here ready to talk to you.
Exactly. The all-American crew for this American football game. Cadwallader in the empty again, looking out to his left, pump fakes, throws out, completion, first down. Well, that might depend a little bit on where his left foot was. Yeah, if you look, that's not a generous spot if you're Nottingham.
No, and a little bit of a miscommunication in the middle there. You saw Finley Old coming through and almost running into his receiver, running the drag. They happened to be in the same place, which just took away that option route, essentially. So third down, they're going to have to convert on this one.
We have Emmanuel Easy at the bottom of your screen, but it's going to be a quick pass. Oh, that's off the hands of the defender, but they have called the flag based on the Nottingham player's reaction and a little bit of trash talking here. I believe that flag's going to be on UWE.
Yeah, that's Jax Crawford coming through here. We talked about it, there's been a little bit of chatter and going on.
Interference. Defense number 7 will be placed in the spot of the foul. Automatic first down.
And there's Alec Glenn sending in a play with his quarterback, Cadwallader. Let's see if we can see the interference. It came pretty late. Yeah, I don't think we're going to quite see that. But you could tell it immediately. Starr said, wait a second, something's going on here.
Yeah, and it was great by Cadwallader to get the ball out that quickly because they had left the right D end unblocked completely coming through. So fantastic off that kind of hot route.
A little bit of a chip by your tight ends trying to buy Cadwallader some time. And he can run this for a few yards, maybe get 5 or 6. That's a late hit. Generally speaking, you don't clap flags, Phoebe, but you can go, way, that's approved, that's okay. And that's what Nottingham did on the sideline.
They did. I mean, it was just obviously a bit too late off the sideline. Leon Klasowitz, who's truly the leader of this defense for UWE, just trying to make a play.
The play was over. Basketball foul, late hit out of bounds. Defense number 42, 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
I'm not sure I'd call that a hit, but he certainly shoved them.
He did, and we'll get that replay right here where you see that Cadwallader's running. He's just on the edge. He steps out of bounds here, and then he gets pushed.
That's one of those. It's not like he was engaged before Cadwallader went out of bounds. I mean, he did make contact after. It's not like he just continued. So you're going to get a flag on that every time.
Yeah, and it's the extension as well. You've got to just be careful with that full extension. And I know it's hard seeing the yellow lines at times, especially when you're just trying to make a play ultimately. But we always say it, live to play another down. You're up by 6. You don't need to give them an opportunity that's unnecessary.
And at least they're yellow. They're not red.
That's
red
true.
Lines are getting banned in American football in the UK. I think they're weaning those out starting this season over the summer. And then within a year or two, you won't see any. So here's Nottingham trying to get points on the board. They're down 6-0. Phoebe, this drive has probably been their best. They've had a little bit of help from UWE in terms of flags, but they've made some good plays as well.
They have. It's been really nice decision making, from checkdowns to making sure that you're getting it out immediately. That's been really the key thing. You look at both these teams, they've really been throwing it 10 yards or shorter. We've not seen any of those deep plays, but you're also looking at UWE who want to stop any of those explosive plays, those bend don't break opportunities.
Yeah, and I think the quarterbacks are looking deep, but then going to their checkdowns. You can see pretty much every play, Cadwallader and Isom are willing to look downfield and then just take an easier throw that's more likely. And here we have some pressure. Cadwallader is going to have to roll out, and he's going to throw it across his body to, my goodness. Now, they've said that he dropped that. I'm have to see that again. Now, that is a good play by number 6 for UWE. That's a really good stop, actually, because that's a big momentum-changing catch. Instead, now it's nothing. So it's quite impressive.
It's very impressive, and ultimately you're looking at the right tackle there versus Ramari Bennett, who ultimately just beat him to his spot, and that's going to be a battle you're seeing a lot. These tackles are going against very physical defensive pass rushers, and in these very clear pass rushing situations, that's where you've got to come up big. You've got to be able to help your quarterback out.
What's interesting, you're talking about pass rush. UWE's changing things up. They'll bring 4, they'll bring 5, and then this down. Look, you can see they go with, oh, this is 2 plays ago where he dropped it. I apologize. But if you look on the last play, I think they only had 2 down linemen. So here is the drop. He has it in his hands, and that's a really good hit by UWE. That's their number, who is that, number 6? That's Mike Abera, makes a good play on the ball, potential ball catcher, forces the drop. Cadwallader in the empty again. H back on the rights, Finley Old. And that's going to be a catch, and he's going to have some room to run, and he's starting downfield, and that's going to be a touchdown for the University of Nottingham. That's some nifty run after the catch.
What a great job there by number 87. We talked about him earlier.
That's John Bonicato. You mentioned him, special teams, now making a play on offense as well.
Absolutely, and on that slant route, we saw that early on where they ran the double slants and had a really nice opportunity, going right back to that slant route, and then it's the yards after catch. That is where he's really shown, and again, you talk about him on special teams. When you've got a returner, they understand space, they know how to find that end zone.
Exactly right. Now we have a field goal. This is, an extra point. This is bigger than usual because it will determine if this is a lead or a tie. Clean kick, but that's going to be blocked, and that ball is live. If they pick it up and run with it, if you pick it up and fall on it, it doesn't do anything, but I guess stops the play.
Interesting that they must have been scouting. This is the benefit and the tactics when you play the same team multiple times. You've got so much more film on them. There's obviously a weakness within these kicking teams that they have, punt and field goal, that they're able to capitalize on and really assert their dominance. And we're going to look back at this play. You're going to watch the slant coming across. Quarterback does a nice job looking it off, splits the defenders, and then just continues to run into the end zone. The 2 defenders running into each other almost took themselves out of that play, but what a way to finish.
And he finds that gap, as you said, that special teams experience coming in, trying to convert in open space. Reading defenders when you're on a slant route for yards after the catch is such a unique skill. And it's so fun to watch good players who can execute that and turn short gains into big gains.
Absolutely, and that's one of the things that's hard to practice as well, right? When you're trying to find ways to recreate these game-like scenarios, when you're building out your practice plans, this is a big part of it. How do you create scenarios where it's going to be stressful and there's going to be elements where they have to read the field, understand the defense, understand where everyone lines up? It's so exciting.
It is, and now we get ready for a kickoff. This is University of West England's 3rd, I believe, kickoff. Yeah, because they opened, then they scored, and now they have a kick return. I apologize. I saw the ball. I got really excited for another kickoff. UON kicking things off this time. That's a high kick down to the left. Good lane discipline. No, it's not good lane discipline. That's going to be a huge return for UWE, and he might get that. It looked for a moment. Now, I think they're going to say he was down. Yeah, the referee's saying down, down, down. Nottingham is saying, wait a second, no, he wasn't.
Wow, Robbie Kendall fantastic job. Returner found
There's also
the
a flag, so maybe they did have lane discipline. There's a lot on this play, Phoebe. It looked like all the Nottingham tacklers were in position. And then all of a sudden, oh, well, that would explain it. Yeah, I mean, it's much easier to return it when someone commits a penalty.
But number 18, hustling downfield, being able to make that stop. I mean, that's Rob Davey. It's a third-year receiver. Gosh, this is where that effort comes through. This is exactly what Jason Scott talks about. You never give up on a play.
And I want to talk as well about Rob Davies specifically. He's a player who went through this development program. Oh, hold on. They're going to talk about the flag, I believe.
The ruling on the field is the runner was down prior to the fumble, and there is no flag on the play.
Really?
First down, UWE.
So they did all that, and basically end up doing nothing. It's just a good field position for UWE. I thought there was a block in the back, but apparently there wasn't, and now UWE has good field position.
Really great field position.
Oh, my goodness.
Interesting to see what they come out with, but we won't know yet because we have no eardrums left, so I hope you at home do.
Here we have Nottingham, different formation here, but very stacked look, trying to counter out that stack of the UWE offense. Declan gets into the backfield, and then a follow-up tackler. 3 tacklers come in, but that penetration right up the middle, that's the key of that play. When you disrupt an offensive backfield, they can't do much in terms of their game plan.
And a really nice job by the defender on that play, the corner, Obed Adye, and he's someone that's come through the Birmingham Lions University, Tamworth Phoenix, where we've seen Coach Scott in the past. Just a critical guy in this defense in a critical moment because that running back is so quick twitch with his muscles.
Isom throws a screen pass. That's going to be incomplete, just falling off the hands of the receiver.
Starting to get a little bit chirpy up front. You can see the officials trying to push them apart, 65-3 in particular. But this is the battle. When you know each other so well, you know how to get under each other's skins and really just frustrate them.
Yeah, I think they're starting to get a little heated as well because it's competitive.
Absolutely.
You know, you get the most chirpiness when it's either really, really close or it's the end of game of a blowout.
You are spot on. I mean, and look at the score, 6-6. 10 minutes left in the second.
Motion moving out. Isom has men to the right side. He's going to scramble, and he's a big, big quarterback. He's like a soda machine on wheels running down the field. My goodness. I mean, he's bigger than some of those O-linemen, and he gets about 10. Gets the first down. I think he got just enough for the first down.
He does, and on the tackle, Tyler Robbins, previously at Dartmouth College in the States, originally from New Jersey. Look, he's gone against big guys like this before, and you can see the clamp that he has when he's pulling down ice, and that's the best way to do it. We talk about it all the time. You can't run if you don't got your legs, you know?
Exactly right. Exactly right. I would say, though, if Isom is willing to run like that, it really opens up this offense. He's only taken off once, I believe, today, as we have a handoff up the middle. Now that is Brees, and he's managed to make a defender miss. Good blocking in the open field, and that's going to be a first down inside the 15.
Brees is such an exciting athlete to watch. I mean, just his ability to change direction and that explosive burst he has off of it. We talked about it earlier, quick twitch. This is where he can be so dangerous, but you got to give credit to number 8 on that one. Marlon McGeechee, he's somebody who is from the NFL Academy, did a really nice job, had the inside, shed his block, got outside. Those are the fundamentals that you're looking for.
A bit funny for him to be considered the away player in a game here. I mean, the NFL Academy's
at his home ground.
Here is Isom motioning his offense, redirecting some people, scanning the field. And that's going to be a fake handoff, and he's going to throw a quick slant route. Great job by the defense. That is number 8, Marlon McGeechee.
We're just talking
about him. Sorry, same person right there. He's made 2 great plays then.
He has. He did a really nice job of plastering on his offensive player like that. He's just trying to show up for his home field right now. Some of the NFL Academy guys are out here watching his old teammates, so that's a terrific job against a fantastic side in a big moment. Now leaving them in 2nd and 10.
2nd and 10 inside the red zone. Isom with Brees to his left, trips Bunch to his right. Bobbles the snap a little bit, then he gets a little screen pass out to Brees. Brees gets hit hard. It's going to depend on where they consider that forward momentum.
Really liking some of the play designs. You're in a little bit more condensed formations. You've got Brees coming across on that motion. We're going to see it a little bit here. Little fake read option, pops out, head round immediately. And because the play design all came across the other side of the field, you're looking for that one-on-one. But the physicality of this University of Nottingham defense is so impressive. I mean, number 20 right there, Levi Burgess-Torino. Again, second-year safety, previously a London Blitz youth guy.
Oh, and Brees found a gap there. That's excellent blocking and really good vision by that running back to score.
Really nice.
You would know it by his face, though. I mean, look at him. He just looks like he's walking through the park.
But that's what you love. He really embodies this UWE mentality.
Yeah, the killer instincts.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Act like you've been there before. Punch it in. And again, we talked about him earlier on. He is such a skilled running back. His coaches have been praising everything he was doing, playing in the EFL like that. It's in Paderborn. Fantastic job.
It's so interesting to watch the dichotomy between the play styles of these two different teams. You get this empty, 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 and now you get these super heavy backs, giant quarterback. And now here's Brees with Wildcat, and he's got lead blockers. He's been hit by a lot of people. It's come down to the spot. If I could get a signal.
I think they called it short. I think they stopped forward progress. Although you're getting signals from the UWE sideline giving a touchdown.
I don't think he got it. I'm pretty sure they've said no.
Which is so interesting.
Oh, well, hold on. It was good? Apparently it was good. So we need to double check that. But as far as I can tell, my sources say they signaled him as good. So that would update the score, I believe, if that's accurate, to 14-6. But, yeah.
We've got our spotters here today doing a terrific job, really setting us up for success here.
Here is the touchdown, running up the middle, and he just opens up. That's a huge lane. Really good blocking, a little crisscross applesauce with that blocking. You push people in, push people out, and here is Brees on the two-point conversion. He's got two pullers, follows him well. I mean, he's definitely in. I mean, there's the yellow line. You can see him, but depends when they blew a whistle.
Yeah, and it's different too, right, for our officials. This is, for some of them, their first time being on a live stream and understanding they need to signal to the crowd, let the people know.
Let the people know, and here is a kick return. Now there's no one to hand that reverse to. He looks like he was trying to. There's definitely some confusion on that. You saw him actually, here's some afters. One of the UWE players, number 25, doing a little pushing and pulling with Jack Redhead. That's UWE's 25 is, I don't have a 25, I apologize. But he was pulling on a jersey, but they didn't call a flag on either one, so it's no harm, no foul.
No, a little tit-tat out there. But this is going to continue to be the theme for the rest of this. UWE driving down, Nottingham 7.5 minutes on the clock. Great opportunity to just chip away down the field, really take advantage of this. Keeping in mind, they started with the football today, so UWE will start the second half with the ball.
Cadwalader has a little bit of time for a quick slant to Mbenefo. We've seen that play time and again, first down.
And you can see the chippiness already between them. This is what you want to witness because it just gives that hunger, that fire in the belly that both these teams are so well known for. Those slant routes, though, they found a weakness within this zone defense.
Well, if you throw a perfect slant route and then you have an option for something else if the DB's lined up too far inside, it's really just quarterback playing pitch and catch with his mate. That's the difference when you have an accurate quarterback. Cadwalader looking deep. This time, no, he checks it down to Finley Old on a crossing route, and Finley Old's going to get another first down.
Nice job showing a little screen on the outside, steals the attention of the defense. Quarterback does a nice job of just peeking that way and ultimately getting the ball to his playmaker, getting it in his hands.
That's really good pass protection as well. UWE looked like they were a little passive on that, almost on their heels, trying to wait to see what developed in front. Different look than like that. It's not some super heavy blitz. We'll see if they kind of continue to mix that up.
Yeah, that's what a screen can do to you, though.
And that's good pressure, but a quick pass, very dangerous if you're a defense, that's one of the hardest things to defend.
It is, and it's the ferocity. Am I making that word up? I might be, but the velocity of which he's throwing the ball, and his receivers, they've got such a great relationship. Immediately heads around, ball is on them the second they're breaking.
UWE looks like they're trying to bring some extra pressure here now that UON is moving down the field a bit. Cadwallader in the empty again. Blitzer potentially coming down, drops back as if he's in his zone. They're going to rush forward, get some pressure. That's a quick hitch to Mbenefo, and he pushes his way forward. It will depend on the spot. He says first down. Let's see if the refs agree. Yep, they do. That's a first down for Nottingham. Just taking that along. Little dink and, well, it's not quite dink and dunk when you throw a howitzer 5 yards, but the point is they're not big, long throws. They're quick, short throws.
And against a team like this, you know, they're doing a lovely job of being able to create that big cushion in the back. They're saying we are not going to let you throw deep, but they're so quick at that ability to break on the ball, come down and make that tackle. They are very rarely, apart from those couple of slants they've thrown, allowing those players to have yards after the catch.
Yeah, if you keep everyone in front of you, you can do a lot on defense. And here we go. Good pressure. Cadwallader has to kind of check it in a little bit. Then he gets on his second throw, and that's a catch. And that is number 87 for University of Nottingham. I believe, yeah, that's Jock Banicato again. He was the slant recipient earlier who scored a touchdown with a big catch there. Cadwallader looked like he was going to get hit.
He did. I mean, he's being very evasive in the pocket. You saw him being able to really get out of the way of the pressure that was right there. He faked it when you saw you saw the D-line jump. But what I loved was from the receiver on that, he had run his route, hitched up, saw there was pressure in the pocket, opened up, and then found a way to just settle nicely in the zone.
And here's a jet sweep. We'll see if they call a flag, and they do. I believe the key block on that was called a hold. I'm not sure I agree with that call, but I definitely saw that that's what they were going to call.
Yeah, and again, this is what's hard, right? It happens so quickly.
Holding. Offense number 13. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Repeat second down.
Yeah, they called old for that. I think he got under the shoulder pads of the defender, and then, yeah, let's take a look here. It's going to be just in the middle of your screen. Yeah, oh, it's that left arm that really gets the hook. The right arm was initially under the pads, but the left being around him, I think that hurts. That hurts any defense case.
yeah, you kind of pile drive him to the floor afterwards.
Well, I'm cool with the pile driving as long as it's from the front.
Exactly. So just the discipline in these areas. But again, nice to see the motion force that defense, testing them laterally, right, vertically, horizontally.
UWE.
So UWE is the one who calls a timeout. They might want to try to get the ball back. It's UON, whether they score or not. It's going to probably have about 2 to 3 minutes left on the game clock here, and UWE probably feels they can do something with that.
Yeah, and especially looking at field position, 2nd and 14 for UON. I haven't seen what the field goal distance is for this team. I'd imagine they need to chunk it a little bit more to be in field goal range. So these are perfect opportunities. Start getting those tactics, thinking, brewing in the brains of these UWE coaches.
Barring any very unlikely 4th and longs that are odd numbers, I would say they'd want to be inside the red zone to kick a field goal. If you're looking at, in warm-ups, both these kickers can kick it quite far, but it's in the British game, kicking's always a bit difficult. Empty set again. A little bit of pressure. Now they're starting to bite down on these quick hitches. Yeah, that's UWE's, I think it was their linebacker crashed in. That's number 3, Elijah Williams. Does a great job biting on that and making it difficult to make that catch, gets the stop.
Yeah, and just keeping an eye on Elvis Webster. He's the right tackle for University of Nottingham. He's been battling all day long with a multitude of defensive players. Bradley Johnson giving a lot of trouble to him. Just the speed in which he's coming off of the line. He may have to adjust or find a way to perhaps chip block to help out and really give his quarterback a little bit of extra time in the pocket.
Exactly right. And here we have Finn is on the opposite side, so no chip help for an Elvis. But that's a deep pass by Cadwallader. And that's, it's just not quite there. There's a lot of whistles for an incomplete pass. They're still whistling.
There may be some other things going on.
Maybe a defensive interference downfield or a flag. There's something going on. I heard lots of whistles.
Holding. Defense number 2. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
So they called Tyrell Thomas for that hold, and it means it's an automatic first down for University of Nottingham. And that bails them out a little bit because that yardage wouldn't have gotten a first down otherwise. Now, I don't have the hold here because we're following the ball. I think the hold was on the other side of the pitch.
Yeah, and that's where you've got to use those in-game smarts in terms of just understand where you are on the field. Understand the down and distance. You don't need to put your team in a dangerous situation, especially when the ball is not even coming to your side.
Exactly right. Now a rare running back sighting for the University of Nottingham. Let's see what they do with that. They got 2 receivers on the left alongside a tight end as well. And that's a rollout by Cadwallader. He's going to throw it. He has someone. He just threw it just a little short. Him and Finley Old not on the same page. Old was open.
Yeah, cover 2 by the defense, and quite clearly from the beginning, that ball could have come out a little bit quicker and put right on Finley Old. He was open majority of his route there. It's just that catch and release, trust your players that they're going to be in the right spot.
And now Luca Garner-Benyon in the backfield alongside Cadwallader. We'll see if he goes out on a route or stays in for a little pass protection help. Well, it's going to be a run to Benyon. Garner-Benyon. Yeah, Garner-Benyon gets a few yards on a run.
And a nice little read option. You saw the defensive end coming up on the other side. Good decision to hand it off. Slows them down a little bit. You start to consider the time here. You've got 3rd and 6. You could probably pull this down to 2 minutes in terms of running this play. You get a first down. You ultimately don't want to let UWE come back on the field now.
Yeah, exactly right. And you know what? When you have that read option with the running back, it adds another level to the offense. They've gone back to empty here, rather. And that's going to be a quick hit. It's a slant route, rather. And it's going to be a first down. That's Silas Starr again moving University of Nottingham inside the 10.
We spoke about it earlier. When you run empty a lot, there are very few options you can show as a defense. You're much more limited in your menu. And so you see here, they're in a cover 2. You watch your linebacker fly out on that side. He comes on the inside. The 2 safeties have to come and converge. That's what happened the first time. They came on the same angle and knocked themselves out of the play. I would imagine we'll see that a couple more times.
And yeah, they're sticking with empty. That's their go-to formation. They've very rarely been in something else. There's the blitz, but he's going to throw it. That's almost picked off. He's going to kick himself for that. That's UWE's Jax Crawford had 2 hands on that.
Definitely a miscommunication there from the receiver and the quarterback. They'll want to, you can see and feel the frustration by number 7, Jax Crawford, who had the ball in his hands. If you can touch it, you can take it, right? That's what we like to live by.
I believe it was a quote from, Ted Lasso, where he says, "I apologize for the fruity language you've heard on the broadcast."
I do love Ted Lasso, though. Season 4, baby, coming out.
There you go. Here we have no empty this time because we have a running back in the backfield. Garner-Benyon on Cadwallader's right. And Cadwallader throws out to his right, and that's a big snag, and he's falling forward. Silas Starr bringing it inside the 2, maybe even inside the 1 as this clock runs out. And if you're Nottingham, you say, good, take this time. Please take it to the 2-minute warning.
What a beautiful grab. The way that he tracked the football through the air and just snatched it from the air. I mean, it was absolutely textbook. We're going to watch it here again, especially with Cadwallader having pressure on his backside. And you see him go high and grab it with the defender, number 4, Darius Robinson, right there. Again, these UWE teams, they don't give up much space when it comes to that kind of area mash that they're running.
Are you ready, Phoebe, for a University of Nottingham tush push? Because that's what they were about to do.
UWE.
I guess UWE wasn't ready. They said, let's go talk about it.
Charge team timeout.
The tush push is hard to defend, especially with some rugby guys on the team, with it being such a particular way. We've seen it with the Eagles in the Super Bowl. It's one of those tough ones. I mean, I don't want to be in that pile. I'll be honest. That's
no,
tough.
it's not
That's a tough
fun.
place to live.
I mean, any quarterback sneak is a lot of contact, and then when you add in extra running backs pushing things from behind, and then the way to counter the tush push a lot of the time is to throw lots of bodies at it. So you end up with even more. Centers usually end up with probably 600 to 800 pounds on top of them at some point during that play. It's not exactly fun, but it's worth it when you score. Now we'll have to see. Does Nottingham come out in that formation again? Because UWE called a timeout, so they can now counter it. Does Nottingham say, ooh, maybe spread it out a bit instead? They bring out the heavy package. You can't call another time, my friend.
This is what we love.
Oh, he said tie. I'm sorry. I thought he was calling timeout. I said, you can't do that.
Coach T knows what's going on.
I'm
He's
sure
doing
he
this
does.
a long time.
Well, here it is, tush push on 1st and goal for the University of Nottingham. You got to get a clean snap. That's the key. No, it's a handoff up the middle, and he was initially hit, but he kept on his feet. Now, hold on. Now, UWE's going to say they have the ball, but the reality is it's the yellow line on your screen. That's the touchdown line, not the white line on your screen. So he was by far in.
He was absolutely in. He broke the plane with the ball, and what a great job. We talk so much about that drill with the balance. When you're a receiver, a running back, one hand on the ground, you're able to regain that balance, keep the ball tight, run your feet, use your momentum to get you in the end zone. I know it's confusing. The yellow and white line do look very similar, but like you said, it's the yellow lines today, so he was well and away in the end zone.
Yeah, he was probably a yard or two in before the ball came out, which is why UWE isn't really fighting. Obviously, they stopped pretty quickly. I can't read lips, but he doesn't look very happy there, but making some adjustments. Not still down by 2. They got to convert this to tie it before the half. And then UWE still has 2 minutes with the ball in their hands unless there's any tricks coming on. Communication on the left side of the line, trying to stay on this. Cadwallet is going to throw a fade route. That's definitely a flag. Oh, my goodness. He was draped all over him, Phoebe.
I'm going to take a Tom Brady on this one and say nothing. No, but I mean, look, you gave him a shot, you threw a fade ball. Great job by the defender on that. We're going to have a little bit of a replay on the initial one that got him in the end zone in the first place.
Oh, my. What good balance by him. My goodness, Garrett Pittman just staying on his feet.
I mean, absolutely fantastic. Again, he had a great game, blocked 2 kicks versus Durham last week, and today he's a game day captain, showing exactly how to operate.
Yeah, and there's that fade route again. And as I said, if the receiver doesn't complain, I'll eat my words and say it must have not been there. They were just fighting for the ball. Now we have a kickoff by Nottingham, down 12 versus UWE's 14. How aggressive is UWE going to be if they get the ball as that kick goes high into the night sky?
What a great hang time.
Yeah, really good hang time. Gives chance for the defenders to get down there. Last time we saw a big kick return here, not as big, but, to the 40. That's not short in terms of kick returns.
Yeah, and then officials trying to stop any sort of kerfuffle on the sideline again. Under 2 minutes, they're going to have to find a way to drive down, get some chunk plays now. And Coach Scott having a word with the officials. Look, the ball has come out a couple different times now, so you know that it is something that both these teams are looking at. You've got to capitalize on one of those moments.
And if the ball is coming out this often, one of these is going to be a fumble. And as a coach, you just want to make sure the refs say, don't blow the whistle so early. You can always run in and say he was down, but you can't undo a whistle.
Precisely.
And here is Isom, and he looks like he's going to be going deep, but he's hit. That's an open field tackle. Now a helmet has come off, so he's going to have to come off for a play. That's a safety rule.
Number 3, helmet lost during the play, will have to miss a play.
Yeah, that's a rule for safety because you got to make sure they have time to go put their equipment back together. Isom was limping a little bit there, Phoebe. That's something we can keep an eye on. He's a big fella. But he seems to be moving okay right now in the backfield.
Yeah, he's got his right ankle spatted, so you don't know if that was a pre-existing injury. I know talking to the UWE coaches earlier, one of the things they said is actually this is the healthiest that they have been so far. And they were
offense number 7, 5-yard penalty, second down.
There must be some confusion with these lines or something, because that's the second offensive encroachment we've seen. That's not a normal penalty. Like, if you're new to American football and you sit there and, I've watched a game or two, there's lots of holding penalties and all that stuff.
Yeah, and it's interesting that you think it's on the same side both times. So that official must have a different viewpoint than some of the other officials, but that's why it's so key. Have that communications. The officials are talking. Talk to the receivers. Hey, number so-and-so, get back.
Yeah, exactly right. Isom now, he's in the empty. Low snap, but he rallies it just fine. He's got some time in the pocket. That's a hold that wasn't called. Trying to get a tackle on the open field, 2 tackles, and then he gets out of bounds. I think that's enough for a first.
I mean, you can just see how physical he is. It is hard to take him down. He doesn't have to make a move. It's just his ability to keep running, that very Derrick Henry-esque kind of build in terms of his size and physicality. He's done very well. There's been a couple low snaps tonight. He checks the field. This is exactly what you want from your quarterback. Check, not there. Good. Take off and run. Use your physicality. You want to get out of bounds. You want to stop the clock, because you've got to be able to go downfield and score with only 2 points difference in this game.
Yeah, if you look at Isom, you might not assume he's like this open field runner. And they've actually taken him out in goal line situations before and put in other quarterbacks. He really is. He uses that big body in the open field more so than in the box. Not that he's afraid of contact or anything. We see another flag. Is that a false start?
Prior to the snap, full stop. Number 7, offense. 5-yard penalty, replay the down.
So the last play, he didn't get quite as far down the field as I thought. So it was 3rd and 3. That false start's going to make it 3rd and 8. We got about a minute 14, assuming our last update from the ref clock. They do a great job in announcing that time to make sure we can get you a game clock. That's not always a thing in British American football, so that's quite handy.
Very handy, and this is going to be a huge play right now for UWE. They don't want to let UOM back on the field. 3rd and 3, you've got to be able to convert here, or you're thinking you're going for it on 4th down, although with a quarterback like that, you might feel all right, and a running back like that, to be honest.
I mean, Brees is often their go-to guy in like a short yardage situation, so I wouldn't be surprised if they go to that. But first, we have Isom with Brees to his right. Isom looks like he's calling some audibles at the line of scrimmage. Very vocal. Swing pass out, and that is read like a book by Frank Godfrey. Tackle for a loss. They're going to lose about 6 yards on a pass.
Unbelievable job by the 4th-year linebacker, formerly from Filton, interestingly enough, who we had playing earlier today.
Yeah.
Nottingham.
SGS won the
First, at 1 minute and 2 seconds.
Sorry, Mr. Official. SGS Pride with the Filton Academy. They won the Premiership final earlier today, and now that Godfrey's making plays here in the National League final.
Yeah, now UWE are all out of timeouts. 1 minute left. This is crucial. 4th and 12. This is what they didn't want. UON, they've got to be on the sideline having those conversations. What are our go-to plays? How are we going to get out of bounds? You're under 2 minutes, so you've got to find ways to get out of the bounds, stop the clock. Really, your key passing plays if they're able to get back on the field.
But first, before any of that, Phoebe, we got to get through another special teams play. We have seen a big kick return. We've seen a blocked punt. So far, UWE has made big plays on specials. And we have to see now, is it Nottingham's turn? Are they going to make a big return or a block on this punt? High snap, it's over his head. He's just going to fall on it to stop Nottingham from bringing it back for a score. That's the right move from a punter's perspective, but what a nightmare situation.
Wow.
That's a high snap. I mean, we said they had to get through the punt, and they did not.
This is huge for field position for University of Nottingham. You've got to play it smart here. Be considerate of the clock, because this will go by quite quickly. But let's watch this again.
Yep.
Super high snap. Unfortunately, the punter does a good job to try and get down on it. Josh Petrie does the best that he can in that moment. That that's where this is the discipline, that lack of concentration for just a second, understanding the momentum and the moment you're in.
And this is easier said than done when you're in a national final and people are running at you. But just remember, folks, a long snap should be going back, not up. If you get that ball to release as low as possible, it will naturally rise. As Cadwallader gets a toss out to his left, and Garner Benyon follows a little bit of a block. I think
and the ball's out.
The ball is out. And they're fighting. There's a lot of fighting here. I think they're going to say Garner Benyon still has it. Now, if you're Nottingham, you have to sit there and go, well, hold on a second. Let's stop arguing here. Can we get this ball down? There's 35, 34, 33. Do we have timeouts? Can we stop the clock? Why are we taking so long to get this play out? 28 seconds left, 27.
I don't think they realize the clock is rolling.
I don't think they know the clock is rolling. As a coach, you just feel bad. You want to tell them. You say, excuse me, you're burning time. Well, Jason just said clock's running, so he knows it. If they get this play off right now, they might have enough time for 2 plays. Cadwallader's got to get this now.
Get out of bounds. Why would you cut?
Well, I think he was going for the score. Now, there are some whistles. Now, is that for the end of the half, or did they get a quick timeout? 1 second, he's saying. I can't read lips very well.
Prior to the clock expiring, timeout, Nottingham, 1 second remains in the half.
I think, Jason, this is why you keep that open communication channel with the refs. You say, look, I'm going to call a timeout. As soon as someone is down, I'm going to call a timeout. Come right here. Because there was maybe a half a second difference between that being end of the half or having one more play.
Absolutely. And great job by Coach Jason Scott there, but you still have to be conscious of the fact when you're scrambling around in the pocket, you had 9 seconds left on the clock. That is super tight. Now you're first and goal again, but it's this or nothing.
Now, I think they're bringing out something a little different. They're going to go for a kick from what I can see. No, they're going to go into their... Yeah, they are. They're going to go for a kick. This is Luke Roberts lining up, clearing the field. There actually is a little bit of fluff on the ground. Usually that's just a motion they go through. He actually did remove something. Now, they are on the right hash. If you're kicking a short kick from the right hash, that's probably... Well, that is the harder of the two sides to kick a short kick from. So Roberts has to line himself up, checks his face cage, and that's going to be blocked, and that ball's live, but Roberts has the ball. Oh, my goodness, he gets crunched. Well, that's not what you want. Now, that's 2 blocked kicks from the same side from Nottingham. I think you got to put that in the notebook and say maybe don't go back that way.
Yeah, really, really tough kind of series of events there. Why you had 1st and 10. We're having
this is the
official.
End of the second quarter.
1st and 10, you can clock the ball. You can stop the clock. Tight of a window where for the majority of the first half, it's a back and forth between who can score the 2-point plays. I think that UON will be kicking themselves in this situation. Again, keep in mind, UWE start with the ball because they had won the coin toss.
Yeah, and Cadwallader looked like he really wanted to go for it on that, and they said, no, let's go for the kick. And now that's 2 blocked kicks. That is the difference in this game. So you say, that's 3 points off the board. 4 points off the board as we get some highlights from this National League final. Now, early on in the game, we had a blocked punt. UWE blocked that punt, grabbed the ball, recovered it, and got it inside the 10. And Phoebe, that set them up for an early score in this one.
Yeah, Max Parkinson with the block, and then here you see Josh Brees just doing Josh Brees things. His physicality, his balance in contact. I mean, the way that he finds the end zone is just incredible.
And here's Cadwallader. He had a lot of quick passes throughout this game, a lot of hitches, a lot of slants, but one of the big differentiators is when he managed to scramble and find a little space early on. That's really what got the UON offense going, plus a little extra help from UWE getting a few flags.
Yeah, there were a few ill-disciplined moments from UWE, flags ending up all over the field, but it was these slants. It was taking advantage of the short stuff and those yards after catch that really let this team fly. Number 87, Jack Bonicato, doing a great job of finding the end zone.
Then Brees for UWE finds a seam up the middle. Great blocking, excellent vision, stays low, and piles into the end zone. He followed that up with that 2-point conversion. Now, he eventually did push his way in. They did confirm that was the score.
And he is so dangerous the way that he can move lateral like this. And this is one of the most amazing moments where you see the UON player, number 24, Garrett Pittman, just finding that balance and, of course, ending the game here. Time left on the clock in that last drive. Very interesting play designs and decisions.
So we have a 20-minute halftime. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to show 2 of our sponsors who make this entire stream possible, and we're grateful to them. And then we're going to come back in about 20 minutes for the second half of this National League final.
Football America UK, your ultimate destination for all things American football. Visit our Midlands-based showroom to try on and get fitted for the latest gear. Or shop online for a huge range of equipment, NFL merchandise, and personalized teamwear stores. Plus, with Klarna, ClearPay, and PayPal Pay in 3, getting the gear you need has never been easier. Get game ready with Football America UK, in-store or online at footballamerica.co.uk.
Glasses of milk for everyone all around afterwards, I think, and you should be milking every moment, and that's what we're going to introduce. Milk Every Moment, a new campaign to help students understand the benefit of milk on their sporting performance. An affordable, natural, versatile and widely available choice after exercise. Milk provides a whole host of nutrients, vitamins and minerals to help fuel your workouts. A great option if you are on a budget.
What's your favourite recipe to make using milk?
Mac and cheese. I was going to go with strawberry milk. Pancakes.
Yeah. Nice.
With that in mind, let's talk about milk, and BUCS being proud to promote the Milk Every Moment campaign.
Milk provides high quality protein which helps support muscle growth and repair, and B vitamins to assist with energy release. A glass of milk is great for refueling and repairing those tired muscles after a physical match.
Welcome where it all began, Torino.
The United Kingdom will be looking to add to their total of 16 Winter Games medals, led out by Ethan Clark, biathletes Robin Monroe.
Over the next 10 days, we will celebrate the Magic 11 winter sports across the beautiful Piemonte region.
I declare the FISU World University Games Turin 2025 officially open.
Gonna rank 82.75, second place for Shaw and GB. Holly Smith from Great Britain into second place, 78.25.
the match and puts it out of reach for Germany. And so Great Britain become the first ever World University Games mixed doubles champion.
You will never forget about Torino 2025, the greatest edition ever.
We're at Loughborough University this evening for the final instalment of another thrilling year of BUCS Super Rugby. 17 rounds, 1,360 rugby minutes ago this league kicked off, and it all climaxes tonight with Swansea looking to save their BSR skins and Loughborough looking to lift the Super Rugby League crown once again. The final round of BUCS Super Rugby is underway. Loughborough hosting Swansea. Joe Plunkett, who saw yellow last week, sees only African violet from his throw. Where Swansea have failed, Loughborough have succeeded. The opening try of the match to the league leaders. Brian has a glance, goes wide, flipped out to Meredith. He hasn't got many friends around, so heads back towards the sanctuary of his forwards. Oh. And somehow, Morgan Meredith's gone all the way. There's a bit of width on offer here for Loughborough. Doyle working hard off his right wing. Doyle hitting the jets. Doyle refusing to go down. Doyle with a solo spectacular to bring up the bonus point. Meredith the mercurial. What can't this kid do?
Having a pretty good half, Morgan. Seems to be finding all the right spaces and getting hands on the ball at the right time.
That's Temperley. Gawley shifting through the gears. Gawley won't have a Swansea fingerprint upon him, and a half century is brought up to the nailed on league champions. It is Loughborough's night. They say here it's where history begins. Well, a new chapter in Loughborough students rugby has been written, and history has been made with a second BUCS Super Rugby League crown. Peerless all season and worthy champions. A title triumph for Loughborough University. Loughborough are BUCS Super Rugby League champions that group of young men who've achieved something that very, very few teams have done in the BUCS Super Rugby era.
Noswaith croeso to the final round of the Women's BUCS Super Rugby season as Hartbury aim to claim the league title away to Cardiff Met.
And welcome to you all at home to a now dry Rugby 1 at Kincoy, but you can see the remnants of a monsoon that hit the Welsh capital earlier this morning. The groundsmen have been working tirelessly and they found a paintbrush that can work its way through water to give us a bit of definition on the pitch for a match that could lead to a championship. Can Cardiff Met deny Hartbury yet another crown, or will they snap an 11-match losing streak against the women in red? Harvey Purnell blows his whistle and gets the final round of this year's Women's BUCS Super Rugby underway. For Met, and they go once again to Hubbard. Less than a metre, one more carry, but huge muscular tackle coming in, and it's Rose Walker driven back. Met backing their power, backing their forwards, getting across the line and wrestling the ball across the paint. Another brilliant claim, this time from Erin Sinclair. Full stretch, Hartbury on the roll, Hartbury trying to drive to the line, but denied, a metre shy. Now it's McQueen barrelling over Met defenders. They're still not quite there. Lockwood looks right, looks left, gives it to Whitley, who's across, but has she grounded it? Yes, she has. Well, it's the engine rooms where Allied Prospers these days that are being put to work in this scrum. That is a beautiful line against the grain, hurtling through a hole, pins it back, and Freya Bell careering into red jerseys. Cardiff Met, they get it wide, they're so on, but instead it's Caitlin Hubert. Caitlin Hubert looking for the offload, finding Marlowe. Marlowe with one more to Gabby Heelan, and that has to be up there as one of the tries of the season. But off go Hartbury with the loose ball, threading the needle with the pass. Aspinall hits the accelerator, and that's how quick Hartbury can strike. A punishing play to release Deadly Daisy, and it's try number 2 for Hartbury.
Release, please.
Met looking ragged defensively, McQueen looking full of running, full of gusto, and full of try-scoring desire. McQueen again. Go! Even she can't break through this Met resistance. Round the corner comes Metcalf, and the co-captain registers a crucial bonus point try for Hartbury. Meg Lewis, another who is an age grade international. Off goes Aspinall. She'll do it all alone. Aspinall to seal the three-peat. The ultimate advert for the league, but the ultimate team, the champions once again, 3 titles in a row. They were taken to the brink tonight by the valiant Cardiff Met. But it is celebrations all round for the women of Hartbury, who are the Women's BUCS Super Rugby inaugural league champions. History is Hartbury's once again. The three-peat complete, and Hartbury are the queens of BUCS Super Rugby.
It's time for the second half of this National League final. The UWE Bullets are ahead 14-12 over the University of Nottingham Gold team. Pretty exciting stuff, Phoebe. It has been an excellent first half. I'm Sean Endicott here as we enter into this second half at Loughborough. Phoebe, that's a back and forth half that had a bit of a weird ending, but ultimately ended up in a close game.
It did. It ended up in a close game, and I just want to flip back because the rugby game we were just watching, Hartbury, Gloucester, fantastic. It's so amazing to see where women's sports has grown to, and everybody wants to be a part of it. This past weekend with the PWR finals, you've got the BUCS finals coming up. Looking at it from a women's perspective domestically, this year we've got Team GB women who will be competing in the Euros August 23rd at home. Make sure you try and go see it. And our GB women's flag team heading off to the World Games in Chengdu, China in August as well. So women's sports, get involved.
Well, it's an exciting time for sports in general, and obviously a big part of sports is going to be women's sports. As you said, there's so many finals going on these days. It's really quite the exciting time, and I love those highlights as we get a kickoff here. Nice high kick for the University of Nottingham. That's going to be fielded, and a big hit. What? Oh my goodness, an absolutely leveling hit by Jago Lees. Oh, that's a punishing. A punishing boom.
Captain of UON Green, he started playing sport at University of Nottingham. And what a way to set the tone for the start of this second half, especially after you were alluding to earlier, perhaps not the finish they were anticipating, but that was a terrific message early on.
Yeah, that's what you want to do if you're on special teams, make a difference. Now, that being said, as big of a hit as it was, UE is starting this drive at the 41-yard line, so it's good field position. 2 men in the backfield rotating the tight end. Now they have 2 tight ends down. Pulling guard, leading the way for Chris Brees. Now he's got some room, and he's going to truck his way forward. It takes about 4 UON players to bring him down.
Yeah, tricky there.
I'm sorry, Josh Brees, by the way.
I probably would have preferred to see a little bit more from Frank Godfrey really getting involved in that tackle. You see him here just trying to settle that defense. We're going to look at this hit one more time. I mean, that was looking like running into a brick wall, and here you go. They've brought in a fullback as well, and 7 just not doing quite enough.
Yeah, Godfrey needed to do a little bit more there. Now UE with many men in the backfield. They have a running back a fullback, and now they're motioning a tight end in, so they have that double tight set once again. And that's going to be another run, this time countering back the other way, and Nottingham does a much better job of shutting that down. Now that was Tyler Robbins who came in and made the big stop. There were a few tacklers on the play, but Robbins was the key one.
Yeah, we spoke about him a little bit earlier on, previously at Dartmouth College in the States. Not afraid to go against some bigger body guys, and really a good, fundamentally sound tackler.
Yeah, Dartmouth, those guys come out there. It's pretty dang smart people, and they come over here, and they also play at a really high level of American football. So, and now we see UWE on 3rd and 3, trying to convert, getting closer to midfield. They're trying to cross that midfield line, and that's going to be another handoff, and that's a nice stiff arm by Brees. A good little shuffle, cuts his way up, and that's a first down and a bit more.
He does a really nice job of being patient, finding that space. Again, his vision is so clear, and you see him, he's constantly thinking about the hand movements he's got, battling people, swiping by others. I mean, he is really an exciting back. This is why their coaches said he's going to be the one to watch in this game.
Yeah, Brees has really been the difference maker in that offense. It's quite impressive, and he's fun to watch. I love, like you said, his patience. And here he is again in the backfield, and he gets it one more time. So they're making a statement, and he is going downfield, busting into the open field, is turning his way back, and he brings it down to the 30.
It's just that one-step cut and burst through. He sees that, and he knows exactly when to hit that gap, and that's why he's so dangerous, and of course why he is the star of the show on this drive. We see him coming out right now, Jax Crawford running in instead. You want to be able to rest your guys. You want to make sure that he's going to have just as much juice in the fourth quarter as he does in this third quarter.
Yeah, and Nottingham's going to have to get a stop here, because if Brees gets going, you might not be able to put the genie back in the bottle if you're the UON defense. Jack Redhead there with the neck roll, number 34, trying to make that happen. And here is a wide run by UWE, and he's got the edge, and he's got a good block by his receiver. A nice tackle in the open field.
Yeah, really nice job just kind of trailing that hip, although we might have a man down on the field. We're going to have a little replay here, and you're looking at this play, same formation, same play design, different back end, like we said, Jax Crawford running it. Nice job by number 8, cornerback Marlon McGeechee.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, offense, number 53. It will still be first down, but a 15-yard penalty from the dead ball spot.
Yeah, UWE is shocked by that call. Now, I did see a UWE player end up on the ground. And so I think that's probably what they're upset about. They're saying, wait a second, if it's our guy who's on the ground, how is the flag on us? Well, it was somebody else. That's the answer to that question.
We solved the puzzle, didn't we? Good job on that one. I think it's so hard to see in the moment. And again, the player is still down on the field looking and getting treatment right now. You can see the officials having conversations with some of their players, just making sure, settling them down. But we see the player standing up right now, getting up off his own accord with a little bit of swagger in his step as well. So good to see that. He's trying to get back on the field. Number 65 for UWE, that is Ben Shedwick. Now they're back in the huddle and looking at what they're going to be able to do in this down and distance situation. We're 1st and 10 off the back of that flag.
Yeah, so that's a lot of discussion. Ultimately, we end up with a 1st and 10 for UWE. And now they're trying to get some more yards. Now they've been mostly on the ground here. Brees being getting the lion's share, that, as you said. Jax Crawford coming in, getting another run.
Timeout. UWE. They're first.
All right. So after all that, there's quite a bit of confusion, and I believe we're just going to regroup here and start again.
Yeah, it's really tough when it comes to having to use a timeout early on, especially in this third quarter with a game that's so tight. They're gonna not want to have wasted that in this moment, but you could see the confusion amongst the team. the offense weren't able to get lined up in any manner.
Yeah, this has taken a long time. I mean, obviously timeouts can be a little bit varying in length. It's not like they actually sit there with a stopwatch, but it's it's taken quite a long time here, Phoebe, to get this play off.
Yeah, and there's still conversations going on between the officials, although now we see them running off of the field, and we're back to having number 7 in the backfield with Jax Crawford.
Oh, no, he's coming out at receiver. Looks like they're sticking with Brees, Phoebe. It's like they had both in the backfield, and then they shifted, as they trotted out there. So, yeah, we have Isom taking this Brees to his left. High snap, drops back, looking left, deep pass, going to be in the corner. He's got, that's a good pass defense. That was a little underthrown, but it was also an absolutely beautiful play by Dan Schofield.
Absolutely stunning to see from there. A first-year corner. I mean, he's played for GB Under-17s, GB Under-19s, and he even played in Ireland this past summer ahead of the Aer Lingus College Football Classic. I mean, on a massive stage against Team Ireland. It's fantastic to see the different levels of experience this team has.
Now, Phoebe, what would you know about the Ireland Classic?
I mean, you get to watch two great teams competing against each other. More football, any opportunity. Although last year was my birthday, so 40,000 people saying happy birthday to me. It was very embarrassing.
Yeah, it's pretty
It's
fun,
not my
though.
birthday this year, guys. Don't worry.
And here we have, that's a bubbled snap, and it's going to be a sack. Jack Redhead falls on top of Isom. Does a little bit of the Ray Lewis open the door, kick through it dance.
It's just going a little bit awry for this UWE team on this first drive. An opportunity they had wanted to be able to come out, have some positive plays with the matter of an injured player. That first kick return running into essentially a wall here. This has not been the way they want it to go.
Yeah, it's been a bit awkward going back and forth with UWE, and I think that penalty really kind of pulled out the rug from the UWE team. They just kind of regroup. It's you're still winning. You're going to be fine. It's 3rd and 15. Just regroup and trust your guys. And now we have another whistle.
Delay game on the offense, number 18. 5-yard penalty. Go down.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen this before. We mentioned earlier, you usually get a 10-yard call or 10-second call from a referee when it's almost delay a game. But with all the noise and the lights and the darkness and all this stuff, maybe you're just not hearing it. Maybe they're not making it loud enough. Here's Isom, 3rd and a long way, motions out Brees, now with an extra receiver on that side. Has time, steps up in the pocket, delivers a dart, and that's a man who got lost by the defense. They just did not have a man covering one of the best athletes on the field.
And that's what happens when you show these different formations. You motion him out of the backfield. He does that wheel up the sideline. We saw that play earlier, and we know that Isom has such a terrific arm and the accuracy that he's able to lay into it. And then you see at the end, I mean, Josh Brees just doing Josh Brees things, changing direction. Forget all of that, what we said earlier about those drive killers. What matters is what these two do together in the open fields. They are not brought down by any hurdle.
Now we have one receiver on the right side of your screen, and you're right, Brees is really making a name for himself right now. Isom's going to look a little bit of speed option, fakes the pitch, takes it himself, and he tries to truck forward, and he moves off, shrugs off defenders like a nonchalant man. Look at him just throwing people off.
I mean, and that is so hard when you've got the option with the quarterback and Brees on the outside. Which poison do you want to take there? And you know how big Isom is and his physicality. He will run through people. So when you're in that short yardage situation, why not give it to your biggest player?
Well, and there you don't have to give it to either. You get that option. It's really quite something.
I thought it was good discipline still from UON. It's just the physicality and size. You've got to get so many people around the football when he's carrying it.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Here is Isom. He's got a little bit of a delayed handoff, but that's going to be a touchdown. Yeah, massive hole. Absolutely massive gap in the middle of the defense, and you get a touchdown there for Josh Brees.
Nice job by that offensive line, and that little bit of hesitation and that patience just allows the time for the offensive line to get hands on those defenders. They show themselves, and it's beautiful when you see a run game come together like this. I mean, what a great night this is. Look at the football we're able to watch.
I mean, we talk about the National League elevating the level of play, and isn't this exactly what you want? You want a competitive game, you want a close game, you want a back-and-forth game. Well, that's what you're getting right here. Now, this conversion becomes huge because 8 points is technically a single score with the conversion. 10 is not. So here's Brees following his blocks, and he's going to get that standing up. Only got hit on the side of the leg before he scores that conversion to put UWE up 10.
Brees is the UWE equivalent of the Eagles tush push, almost guaranteeing that you're getting in the end zone because of what he's able to do. I mean, he's so fun to watch in this area. He's so hard to defend. He will make you wrong whatever you do.
Yeah, we can see here, I mean, obviously the blocking is huge, and this is on the touchdown run, I believe. You can just see, I mean, they're just running people over, getting pancakes, opening holes.
Jameer Stanley on that, number 53. Look at the way that he just fights throughout that. You've got 67 doing a great job. Femi Omoshuli doing a nice job of being able to just keep kicking people out.
Yeah, now Jason Scott and his team, they want to get some points on the board. It's still midway through the third. It's not like they don't have time. There's a lot of time in this game, but that time will go by quicker than you expect if you don't get points up by the end of this quarter. That's the key. You got to keep it within a score. Kickoff, getting ready, checking his rights and lefts. And that's going to be a shorter, high kick. Nottingham has a chance to return it, but not a lot of blockers because where it ended up. But he sheds one defender, and he gets a nice little gain. That's really good from a kick return there. That's Benicato again.
Yeah, I did a nice job of just being a little bit patient in there. Hit it, and then the two defenders again, either side of him. You love to see that. This is where the returners kind of make their living, essentially, being able to be evasive like that.
Well, generally on a kick return, you get about 10 yards for free, and then after that, the rest of it's earned. And the free is just a timing thing, but then it comes down to can you make 10 yards into 20 or 30, and that's what Benicato did. And we're going to have to see if UON can get some more yards here on offense because they still have about 70 yards to go.
Look at the depth of these DBs in the back.
Yeah, they're definitely respecting the Cadwalla to throw. And there's going to be a sack.
Wow.
Yeah, UWE starting. I think it's like sharks smelling blood in the water. They're starting to hype each other up. When one makes a play, they start feeding off that energy.
I mean, what a nice play by Danny Thomas. Just flying in there.
Timeout for an injured player.
His ability to just strong arm number 52 from UON and then ultimately come back on the other side. I mean, 52 didn't even realize that he had lost.
Yeah, Potter just lost him there, and that's that change of direction. Defensive linemen, there's a lot of things you have to be able to do explosively. You have to be able to go upfield, go speed to power, power to speed, and counter. You do those things, you're going to be a really good defensive lineman. But those are much easier said than done. It's an absolutely outstanding job by the defensive line on that play.
And that's the beauty of defensive linemen, right? And you're looking at constantly, okay, well, now we've played each other twice. We're in the second half. I have a pretty good tell on what you're going to do as an offensive lineman. I've shown you a couple different moves. I've seen how you've reacted to a couple different moves. So defensive linemen, defensive line women, they build up these memories and then ultimately use what you're going to do against you. Again, to your point, speed to power, power to speed. And we still do have an injured player on the field, number 2, Tyrell Thomas for UWE.
Yeah, hopefully Tyrell is okay. We've had a relatively, I don't want to say injury-free, because look, when you're hitting this hard, everyone's going to be at least a little hurt. But as far as I can tell, there haven't been any massive injuries, so that's what you like seeing as a commentator. You want football and you want people to be healthy. And obviously here we're dealing with an injury. We hope that that's not very serious. As we wait to hear what's happening on there, let's go ahead and hear a word from our sponsors.
Glasses of milk for everyone all around afterwards, I think, and you should be milking every moment, and that's what we're going to introduce. Milk Every Moment, a new campaign to help students understand the benefit of milk on their sporting performance. An affordable, natural, versatile and widely available choice after exercise. Milk provides a whole host of nutrients, vitamins and minerals to help fuel your workouts. A great option if you are on a budget.
What's your favourite recipe to make using milk?
Mac and cheese. I'm going to go with strawberry milk. Yeah.
We're going to cut back to that milk advert at some point and talk about milking every moment. Right now, the University of Nottingham wants to milk this moment. Cadwallader buying himself some time in the pocket and getting a pass out, but he was about to get leveled in the backfield.
Yeah, and you saw number 91, who he had just previously had the sack against Danny Thomas. Before the ball being snapped, he's adjusting his shade. He's going from a 3 tech and moving inside and keep shifting, keeping those offensive linemen on their toes, making them second guess what their assignments are, and forcing 2 of them to pick him up. So you see that's going to create those games to open up another defender later on.
Yeah, and if you can get pressure with 4 by moving things around, you really can do a lot on the back end. Here is Cadwallader, and that's a dart. That's a big gain. Now, there seems, the referee on the close side says it's a catch. Seemed to be some argument from UWE, but that's a big gain. Now it's 4th down. You're down by 10 midway through, or more than midway through the 3rd. But they're confident to go and punt here, Phoebe.
Yeah, and they're confident in their defense ultimately, and we've seen why they're like that. Just going back, that was a nice catch by Bonicado, whose name we've said a few times this evening, but the throw was perfectly timed. You see him make his break on that out route. Ball is right on him. Eyes identify it. Really good job. That's how you can see those quality quarterback-receiver relationships.
Yeah, exactly right. Now, University of Nottingham is lined up to punt. I'm not sure UWE believe it. They look like they're just playing not quite a base defense, but pretty close to it. And it is indeed a fake. And he's rolling out, and that's going to be batted down. So they go for the fake punt. UWE sniffed that out, and now there's some trash talking. We'll have to see. It depends on when that flag was. If it was during the play or after is the big deal. I do think it was after, Phoebe.
I think it was after as well. And an interesting play call there, 4th and 7 in your own half of the field for a fake.
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, number 10 of the return team. That 15-yard penalty being enforced from the dead ball spot. It is their first towards a potential disqualification.
Yeah, so because that's after the play, it's still UWE ball at the end of the day. So instead of a fake punt getting for a loss or 0 because he threw it away, you end up getting minus 15. So not as much of a punishment as you could have in certain situations. I think that was taunting towards the sideline. Yeah, you see number 10 there jawing, and that referee has to throw the flag up. Number 10's got a big smile on his face. I don't think he feels that bad about it, Phoebe, because it really doesn't cost them that much. They still have a big play in good field position.
No, correct. You're right. And, for Luke Roberts, the punter in that pass position, to be in that position, he's got no choice, really, because he either runs the ball and gets tackled short, or he throws the ball to essentially who he feels are his playmakers.
Yeah, now, there's a helmet off, so hopefully everyone's okay there. For safety first, of course. I think he's out the pile and okay. Yeah, he's got to come out because his helmet come off.
Came off during the play.
UWE was looking for some sort of penalty there. On that run, you're starting to see fatigue set in, I believe, because UWE, they had yards and then they gained 2 or 3 after the pile up. If you're doing that, you're going to have a good 4th quarter because if you can push piles, the other team, you're probably starting to get a little bit of a leg up when it comes to that strength and fatigue difference.
Yeah, and UWE have a great offensive line. We talked about how they're the top scoring offense this season. A lot of that comes down to the offensive line. They've got to be able to stay and protect, and they have different run designs like we just saw here. I mean, watching 54 come across Michael Pavia on that kickout block, it just makes it so challenging on a defense.
Yeah, exactly right. There was a little bit of confusion on where alignments were, and you actually saw UON was pointing. They're saying, wait a second, where is he? But if you reset and it wasn't imitating the beginning of a play, it's fine to do that. And that's the gap that they ended up running through. So I think by accident, you had caused a little bit of confusion.
Any way to get ahead.
I suppose. Now, here is a hoodie from our running back. And again, I mourn the future loss of hoodies being played in American football in the UK. As we see Brees running it. Now that's initial contact that does not get him down. Now there is a flag in the area of where holding would be. I can't guarantee that's the call, but that is where that often is.
Holding. Offense number 53. 10-yard penalty. Still first down.
So it's still first down, but it's going to be first in quite a while, and I believe we have...
Timeout. Change your player.
They don't care about you, bro.
I believe we have a injury on the field as well, so we'll have to wait for that. Yeah, that hold kind of, he bounced off someone. I'm not sure he needed the help of the holder. Whoever on offense holding, just let go for a second.
Yeah, and it looks like we just got cramping on the field, so hope that he is okay. But on that play, on the hold, you're looking at Garrett Pittman, who looked like he had a little bit of a drive-by happening there where he's being pushed outside of his lane. And I think that's what he was really complaining about. But it's so hard where every play you've got this threat of which gap are they going to hit? Are they going to run it outside? Are they going to come up the middle? Or where are they going to go? And you've got to remain so disciplined and check back to your fundamentals, check back to your keys. What did your game plan and prepare for you?
Yeah, and one thing as well, I want to go back to that fake punt now that we have some time here, Phoebe. If you call a fake punt and you get into position and the other team is clearly not in their normal punt block formation, I think you need a check out of it. And maybe they had that and it wasn't called, but with the eye in the sky where we have a much better angle of reading the field, it was pretty clear that UWE was like, look, this might be a fake. They lined up their players in a way where they could kind of tell this is probably going to be something tricky because they know that UON can pull that out. And I'm not sure if there was a check, but I think there probably should have been.
Yeah, and you ultimately normally do have it based off of your reads and scouting beforehand.
Here we have a fake screen pass. Now Isom going up, trying to buy some time, and now he throws it all the way downfield. Completely uncovered. He's going to trot his way into the end zone. I think just lost by the UON defense.
Wow, Justin O'Neal-Riley, what a job to stay alive in that play. The defense came up thinking it was the screenplay, and then they came down to run and lost where the line of scrimmage was, again, because you'd already seen Isom make some moves earlier on. Interestingly enough, I wonder if the defender had gone for the ball instead of trying to tackle Isom, that would have been a different outcome in that situation.
Yeah, I mean, Isom doing a good job with fancy footwork. I wouldn't call it fast footwork, but it was very fancy footwork. And then, as we've mentioned before, he has a cannon. I mean, that was such a deep pass. I don't think defenses expect to have to defend a pass that can fly that far.
No, and just his awareness, right, where he starts to run the ball whilst keeping his eyes downfield. That's what those next-level quarterbacks really offer, and that's why you see how UWE has been so...
On the offense, number 5. 5-yard penalty. Repeat the try.
Hey, I don't bet money, but I bet money that delay a game with... that Brees doesn't think that's a delay a game. I mean, you can see he's very frustrated.
It's hard when so much of your game is based on time and you're unable to actually see the time. It can be very challenging, but they're looking like they're having issues with personnel as well. You can see the offensive coordinator, Frankie Pankhurst, having that conversation. They might even be trying to call for a timeout, but they've got Wildcat. You can see Isom on the sideline.
Now here is Brees. He's got some lead blockers, and he's going to throw it. I mean, to be fair, there were guys a couple open, but that's Brees does many things. Apparently, quarterback's not one of them. It was not the prettiest of throws. Still having an excellent night.
I think some of that does come down to having the play. So here we're going to see that one from before, right? You've got the flybys, offensive line pushing the defenders back, and that's where I was referring to. He could have gone for the ball. He didn't need to tackle him. And, of course, I mean, fantastic job by number 19, Justin O'Neal-Riley, staying alive, having that relationship with his quarterback.
Yeah, O'Neal-Riley being able to trot his way into the end zone, obviously celebrating and having a good time. I'm really impressed by Isom there. You can see that quick release and just chucking it so far downfield. I would love to see the end zone footage, if there were some, of what What happened on the back end of that defense? Was it just that he ran past everyone, or did people overbite on a fake screen? Hard to tell from the angle. Obviously, that's such a long throw. You can't film the entirety of it. So here we have a kickoff by UWE. That's deep. That might go over the defender or the returner. Yeah, and that's going to be a touchback. He had to make sure that got into the end zone, or else it's live. Yeah, so Nottingham needs some points, and they need some points fast. They haven't been able.
Play as a touchback.
Thank you. It's a touchback. They have not been able to move the ball on the ground. This quick game is. It's what they've gone to quite a bit, Phoebe, but it's not something I think. I don't want to say it's running out, because obviously Cadwallader is still making throws, but it just takes a little bit of an edge off when there isn't that ever-present threat of a run game, and I think we're starting to see that a little bit.
We are starting to see that, but you can tell by how this UWE defense aligns. Their depth is so much further back. They are not letting you make that deep throw, and so they're forcing the check down because their athletes are so good at breaking on the ball.
And here is Cadwallader, and he's going to have to do a little shovel pass. That is a forward pass, so it's an incompletion.
But on the field is an incomplete pass.
Yeah, a pass does not have to be overhand to be forward, and so that's why that's a forward pass. Cadwallader just getting run in the backfield, and you can't make any throws if you have to be running around.
No, and this is where the offensive line really has to step up for him. They've got to be able to protect him long enough. There's been a couple too many times in the past drives where there's a defensive lineman from UWE in the backfield. So you see he's giving the symbol out wide. As that man is shown, you've got a slant coming across, which I think he wanted to see.
That's going to be a grounding. Is there a receiver in the area? Yeah, I'm a bit surprised, Phoebe, that that's not a flag. Maybe they're saying he got out of the pocket, but he did seem to just kind of chuck it. But UWE doesn't seem that upset, so they're happy to go to 3rd and 10.
They are, and again, live to play another down ultimately, right? This is a huge part of it.
And here is the flag. That's a loss of down.
Intentional grounding. Offense number 10, no player was in the area. Ball will be placed at the spot of the foul. Loss of down, 3rd down.
You can hear some trash talking starting to come through. I think UWE, like you said, they're feeling like sharks smelling it in the water, and now they're starting to get a little spicy. And as I said, you get spice when you're close, and you get spice when it's at the very end of a game, and we're starting to approach that. University of Nottingham now deep in their own territory. I think they're at their own 5.
Yeah, this is a tough place to be. 3rd and 25. Getting live action from official Jed out there giving us a play-by-play. We love to hear the communication between the officials. A little sneak peek into that.
Yeah, it is really good. And I always say, if you want to make this game great, go be an official. If you can, it's something that's worth adding and helping out with. And I don't think we have a flag left on the play, but it is 4th down. 4th down and about 20 for the University of Nottingham. And we have seen, unfortunately, for both these teams, actually, punts and kicks have not been the strong suit for both these teams. I mean, we've seen blocks and snaps overheads and things. If you're Nottingham, you just want to get a clean snap and then a clean kick.
Timeout. Nottingham.
Nottingham calls a timeout.
They're first.
To figure things out. Must have not liked something they saw on the field.
Yeah, both teams now having used timeouts. 2 minutes left in this 3rd quarter. So this is going to be a big play in terms of getting the punt off and then ultimately slowing down this UWE offense when they come back on. There's a lot of faith in this University of Nottingham defense. They've done a really nice job so far. But you can see UWE are feeling pretty confident right now, a little dancing on the field. They're feeling good about themselves.
Yeah, I think they're starting to feel it. I mean, especially as you get into the 4th quarter, if you have a 2 or 3 score lead, you start kind of tasting what that victory is going to be like. You start thinking about what that medal is going to taste like. So here is a punt for Nottingham. See if they can get a clean long snap. Good snap. And that's a nice kick. It's got some air to it. It looks like it's going to get a University of Nottingham bounce. That ball is live, and that's going to be a solid coverage. So there's Nottingham trying to get a little bit of a play.
Yeah, good job by the Nottingham coverage team on that, not allowing for any extra yards, essentially, when that returner grabbed the ball. It's always hard. You never know. Are they going to leave it? Are they going to run with it? So good awareness. That's key.
Now UWE back, trying to get some points here, though I don't think they're going to be especially in a hurry. And they have an offense that's built for holding a lead. You have Bryce, you have this big offensive line, you have a quarterback who can fall forward for 4 yards and he can run for even more. I bet you they're feeling very comfortable right now.
Yeah, and you can see there's a new quarterback in right now, number 13, Ethan Gretzinger. And speaking with the coaches earlier, they said that he had completely earned the right to play in this game. And so it's great to see him out on the field after such a successful season for himself.
Yeah, I remember speaking with the coaches. I spoke with you as well about, they spoke with you as well about, if Isom comes out and we put in a new quarterback, it's not because of an injury and it's not because he's in trouble. It's Ethan has earned this playing time. And they said that pregame. Obviously, we didn't want to say anything because that kind of tips the hat of what they might do later. But yeah, the coaches said that to both of us. And now here he is in at quarterback trying to steward this 28-12 lead. And that's going to be a big run up the middle by Brees, and he's trying to get in the open field, and he does, and he just keeps spinning off of defenders. I mean, I think he got past 3 people on just late spins against their body.
He's so dangerous, and you watch the safety. They rolled their safeties late. Garrett Pittman, again, somebody who is really a pro at this, and flying down in the right position, but it's just the way that Brees moves. He makes it so challenging, and he challenges and tests your different angles you're taking in order to tackle him, because he's so able to just take that little jump cut and away he goes.
For those of you who have been here for all 3 finals today, you remember we've talked about the skill of being able to move and sense when your body is in contact with another person and how to counteract it to get extra yards. It's so rare, and Brees has that. And here he is. That's a high pass just off the hands of Brees, and that is going to fall incomplete.
Like the idea that they're going with a bit of a screen pass. It's a nice way to slow down this defense. Again, when you've got a new quarterback in, you want to go back to those comfort plays, running the ball, handing the ball off to your top players, screen passes that get the ball in your hand, release them, keep them a little bit safe, keep the defense out of there. He just got to bring it down a notch. It's his first pass play of the game. Now build up his confidence in the end of this third quarter.
Yeah, generally high passes are going to happen when you come in and you're just trying to settle in. The mechanics of a quarterback throw lend themselves to high passes when you're nervous and you try to rush things a bit. So we'll see if he can settle that down. If not, there's always Brees to hand it off to. He's been doing well so far. Now this is another screen pass, and it's nice and low like we just talked about. And that's going to be open field. Now he goes out of bounds a little earlier than you might think where he's standing. It's actually only about a gain of 5. But a good play and a nice completion for Ethan in his first completion of the game, I believe.
Yeah, which is great to see. A second pass play of the game. Levi Burke Astorino in on the play. Second-year safety, again, a London Blitz youth player. It's great to see. This is what we want to have more of, right? Finding these youth players, building their way into university systems, academy systems, and getting them some game time.
Of the third quarter.
And the referee announces the end of the third. Now, UWE made it very clear which way they wanted to defend and attack going in the fourth quarter. So they must have seen something, because they like one side of the pitch more than the other.
Yeah, and you had alluded to how earlier games had made the same decision, and so there's something that they must see. And these coaches all talk as well, so they understand the lay of the land, and that's what makes this so fascinating, really.
We're going to find out later that it's something like there's a good camera person in that corner and they just wanted to have good photos or something like that.
Shout out to Ben Lumley, one of our top photographers here. He's waiting in one of those corners.
Yeah, exactly right. No, there's some great photos. I mean, BUCS is such a tremendous job of covering this game. You have so many people involved in this behind the scenes. And, as we go into this fourth quarter, the final quarter of the University American football season, you have cameras, film, live stream crews. You have everyone doing social media. And there's so many ways to consume this game, and so many people tuning in right now to see the conclusion of UWE versus Nottingham.
No, there is. And I think it also, when you start to look at the production of a game day like this, you start to recognize and appreciate how many jobs there are and the different roles within American football. So if you're not interested in playing or officiating or coaching, well, there's social media, there's broadcasting like we're doing right now. We're always looking for who's the next person up. You know, team management, physios. It takes everybody to make something like this happen today.
And it's a beautiful thing. We love seeing the season. This Touchdown Tuesday, it's the new experiment to have these 3 finals on one day, and it's really turned into something special. As we see a handoff up the middle to Brees. He got a little, kind of saw him buckle a little bit. I don't know if he accidentally got rolled into from behind, but he managed to, looks like he's come away unscathed.
Yeah, it looked like Noah Clark couldn't really eke out of there enough to allow him more of a room to be able to run on that one. I think he probably would have preferred to get hands on one of the defenders a little bit quicker, especially at that second level. But the way that Brees is able to just find ways to avoid contact, it's pretty incredible.
Yeah, it's really quite fun to watch as a commentator and just a fan of the game. Now we have Gretzinger in his 4th and 5 opportunity. We get to see what he does with a bit of pressure just outside the red zone. Brees motioning out, and that wheel route could be in play again. And that's going to be a touchdown by Gretzinger.
I have to point out, I hope we can get the replay on this. Touchdown, Jermaine Brown. Fantastic job. Look, if you can, at Brees. He is pointing to Jermaine Brown, saying throw the ball to him, because you can see Ethan looking to him as his first read, and he's telling him where to go. What an absolute pro.
Yeah, that's really something, and I think we'll see this if we can on the replay, which I think we'll have after the conversion attempt. With a play like that, it looked like what they did with the wheel earlier, but then they changed who went deep. And I think that's how you get someone so wide open. Brees so much on the first time, then it looks like they're going to that again. Nottingham had made a correction, so then you attack it differently. Good offensive coordinators find ways to make different plays look the same for as long as possible.
Precisely that, and being able to adjust, right? That's why I say so, how those halftime adjustments are so key.
Encroachment. Offense number 8, 5-yard penalty, repeat the try.
I think the only real hiccup of the day has been something about these night games has resulted in 3 offensive encroachment penalties. 2 on UWE and 1 on Nottingham.
Yeah, it has been quite interesting. It'll be fascinating to speak with the line judge after. You can see him right there by the number 1 down marker and ask what he was looking for.
Yeah, we'll have to see. That's neither here nor there, no, as we go into a conversion attempt for UWE. Some time in the pocket. Oh, my goodness. That's, I mean, it hit Brees in the hands, but he obviously wasn't expecting it when it hit him. And so that falls incomplete.
No, it's been so fascinating. I don't think I've ever seen so many 2-point attempts gone in a game. So now you're going to look to the play from earlier. Watch number 5 pointing. You see Brees point and tell him where to throw the ball.
Well, that's one way to make a read easier for your quarterback. I mean, just sit there, please don't throw it to me. You got a guy over there who's wide open. And the quarterback goes, hey, you're right. Chuck that over the top. Cheers, buddy.
I mean, it takes everyone. Everyone's got a role there. But what a great job by Brees in terms of being able to see the quarterback, see where the play should be going. Talk about a great teammate.
Yeah, and making sure that quarterback, because it's probably tempting to force it in. Your quarterback, you're coming in the end of a national final, and it's probably tempting to throw it to one of your best players. Obviously, they have a ton of talent. And then he's saying, no, it's over there. And he saw that the receiver was streaking down the field. He knows that that's a touchdown if you throw it that way. So you were going for yet another kick. It's quite interesting, as you said, so many 2-point conversion attempts when they clearly have someone capable of kicking it. Double reverse on the kick return, but ultimately only goes to about the 23. So, yeah, UWE just keeping lane discipline. That's what you got to do against a misdirection kick return.
Yeah, and it's really challenging. They are making it look easy in those moments because you've got to pay attention to your blockers as you're running down, see where the ball actually is. But if you just stick to your fundamentals, you end up in a successful position, especially when you've got a triple like that one.
Yeah, I mean, you had 3 different points of attack. I think one of the struggles with that kick return is because the handoff has to be backwards, you can't exactly make a read. So when a quarterback makes a read, like you've seen the UWE quarterbacks do quite a bit today, you're reading, and even here, there's a jet sweep. There's probably a read component to that. And now he's going to try to turn it upfield. Silas Starr turns around, actually gets a block from Cadwallader, but he's going to lose about 4 yards ultimately. But yeah, when there's a read concept, because everything's in front of you. On the kick return, because you have to turn around to make that handoff, you can't read the defense. So if you've called return left, but all of UWE has flown to the left, you can't do much about it. And the issue is that, there are ways to do it, but it's more challenging to have a read based on a handoff that's behind you.
Yeah, absolutely. In that last play, Max Parkinson flying into the backfield.
And now Cadwallader is going to get a completion. That's a slant route, and this is Bonicato. He's the touchdown scorer from earlier, and he's really been one of the best weapons for the University of Nottingham today, and another first down.
Great to see how sure-handed he is. I mean, that ball comes out, it just sticks to his hands. He does a pretty good job of protecting, and then that speed, as soon as he catches that slant, he cuts it upfield towards the end zone. Those are the skill sets you're looking for those quality receivers, especially when they understand what defense they are in, which has tended to be more of that kind of too high look.
Yeah, now they're redirecting some traffic, moving players around. You have 5 eligible receivers. You got to make sure they're in the right spots. UWE brings in a blitz. Cadwallader steps up, moves, avoids 1 sack, but is ultimately brought down. He's just not getting the time in the pocket anymore.
He's not getting the time in the pocket, but they're also doing a little bit of that kind of area match. So you've got the 2 high over the top. They're playing man on the receivers. It's really a tough decision. And this defensive line, I mean, you see there number 9, Dior Iqbar, in the backfield. His vision is not able to stay downfield because his eyes are dropping with the way this offensive line is, and the defenders just being in his face so often.
At a certain point, it's a credit to Cadwallader that he hasn't fumbled it on any of these sacks, just because he's aware. And here he is again. He's going to have to run around and just throw this away. Now that might be a late hit. That's a lot of contact for a quarterback.
And we've got a player down as well.
Yeah, there might be an injury here, but I think he's getting up. Finley Old helping up the UWE player. That coach has to be cold. That you gotta be cold. It's very chilly right now, and he's in shorts.
I think
he's got a coat and shorts.
I think they're built different, right?
I guess.
And here you go, some of our NFL Academy athletes standing by, watching. Loughborough is their home. They're the students here. Their field is just over on the other side. But I was always taught, my tight ends coach, Rob Boris, he had to let the players know how tough he was, so he always wore shorts.
Oh, there you go. There's another incomplete pass going to Mbenefo. Falls incomplete, so we now have 4th and 12.
They adjusted as well, right? You can't throw the slant every single play. You've got to be able to have some sort of wrinkle off the back of that. And number 3, Elijah Williams, he's seen this too much this game. He's not going to let it happen again.
Yeah, and it's been a struggle. I mean, obviously this game's starting to get, it's not entirely out of reach. I mean, we've seen comebacks before of this size, but you start questioning yourself if you're Nottingham here. You say, can we score 3 times and shut the team out? And here's Cadwallader trying to go downfield. He's got a laser. Too many defenders in that area. As you said, they've really started matching that. Where is UON putting the most people and then shifting their zones that way? And it's very effective.
Yeah, it's been incredibly effective. I mean, Coach T, we spoke to him pre-game. He's been the defensive coordinator with UWE. Again, we talked earlier on, this is the 4-peat they're looking to get here. They only know winning. And you can see how, if you can sustain all 4 quarters and be playing to this ability and getting better essentially every single play, this is an incredible team feat.
I'd love to go through the UWE roster and see if there's anyone who's been here 4 years. So you get like an undergrad and a master's. You've been here 4 seasons. You're winning 3 finals and then competing right here for a 4th. A little jump cut going outside makes a man miss. And that's going to be a tackle by Nottingham.
Yeah, number 33, Lewis Groom, making a really nice tackle there, previously from Leeds University. He had actually sealed a win against UWE with an interception. You could see a little bit of kind of oomph behind that, trying to set the tone for his team, let them know we're still fighting here. Brees is just so hard to take down, and when you've got a run game like this, it is so challenging. This defense are going to be exhausted.
Yeah, and we talked about this offense is really built for holding on to leads. Once you get it, if you can run this much, it's hard to get the ball out of their hands, and it's hard to get the ball back quickly. Now moving into empty, dropping back, and he's going to toss it downfield. That's a huge catch. UWE's had enough. That player's helmet has come off 3 times now. I think he might need to go get it adjusted. But
he should talk to Football America, one of our great sponsors.
Yes, one of our great sponsors, Football America, and then he should drink some milk while he's there. But
his helmet came off through play. He will miss it down.
This is like a new strategy for maybe just catch a pass, take a play off, then catch the next one.
Look at the excitement already. You see number 10 there, Bradley Johnson, who'd had a couple flags thrown on him today, but he's already excited. That 4P, it's feeling a bit closer, a bit tastier for him right now.
Yeah, well, they want to fill all those fingers on one hand. There are players on this team who have been here several years. I mean, people talk about, obviously, the Americans who come in and come out, but there are players on this program that have been here for a while, and they're winning multiple championships, and they want that here. You can tell that they're excited. Handoff up the middle. There's another. Now, there was a little bit of a sliver, but the defense closed the door quickly.
Yeah, and it was interesting talking with Coach Mayer earlier on. He was talking about how some of the second team have moved up coming into today's game. Number 28, Chait Winsana, number 20 as well, number 25. I mean, that just goes to talk about that pathway program. So it's not just about the scholarships that they're bringing in. It's the athletes they're developing, and think how much better the whole team is getting from having some of these import players.
Yeah, that's what they want, and that's the model that they've done. And it's, to be honest, guys, I don't think it's going away. I think that's the model that they're going to keep doing because it is working. Now we have UWE split back this time. That's a new look. And that's going to be a nice little play up the middle. Well, nice, I should say, for the defense because they've shut things down.
Yeah, and they're all just a little bit slower to get up right now, but it's fascinating to see how Josh Brees has really not broken a sweat in all of this. And I think some of that plays his experience playing in the EFL. We're also talked about 97 quite a bit this evening. Max Parkinson, again, another guy played with Ryan Fire, now with Copenhagen. The EFL, getting those extra reps really plays a big difference. You go against bigger, stronger, faster players from around the world, and ultimately it raises the bar for everyone.
And it becomes a big recruitment tool for UWE as well. They get players in the ELF, and then they get that footage, and then when you recruit guys, you say that's a pathway you can take. Here we have another pass. That's going to be deep. That'll be quite the catch if it counts, and it does. And his helmet stayed on. So look at that. It's a big play by UWE late in the fourth quarter. That's a big touchdown, and way to hold on to that ball.
What a nice job by Tim Lucas there. Again, from the second string quarterback coming in like that. I mean, fantastic job. You've got number 15 out there as well, high-fiving everyone, Josh Petrie. This is what you want to see, a full team effort coming together. Terrific, beautifully run route, really aware of the sideline, that little toe tap swag.
Yeah, and obviously you see UWE starting to celebrate here on the sideline. This is becoming a bit wide in the point differential margin, so I think UWE's going to start celebrating for the last 5 minutes of this game. I think that's become pretty clear if you look at their sideline. They view this one as wrapped up. Obviously, UON does not. Run up the middle. He's got a little seam again. They've gone back to that play again and again. That well has not gone dry as a UON player is on the ground. He seems, I don't know if he's hurt or just taking a minute. Obviously slow to get up, hope he's all right. But yeah, I mean, UWE, look at this. I mean, they're up 42-12.
Yeah, and I don't know if that necessarily tells the story of the first half, right? This is definitely a tale of two halves, ultimately. The game looked much closer. We're going to watch this playback. You're going to look at the left corner route that's being run by Tim Lucas, and just the reach, the toes go dead. Both knees hit the ground in bounds. Really nice job. That's what you want from a tall receiver, and of course, sealing the deal with the running back, in this case, number 22, Alex Eden, getting into the end zone. This run game is so challenging for anybody to stop.
Yeah, it's physical. They have multiple people who can do a lot, and they move their blockers around. Again, we saw this with SGS with their big dominance in certain quarters in the Premiership final. If you can get big people moving in different directions, you can really open up run lanes. It's not like UWE's just lining up, everybody run left, everybody run right. There's a lot of pins, pulls, traps, cracked, all sorts of different blocks, and it's working because it opens these lanes, and the running backs, as you've said several times today, are patient enough to see those lanes open up. What a kick. My goodness. He's not tired. And this is going to be a run back, and they're going for a reverse. UWE sniffs that out. A little bit of afters, but not enough for a flag.
No, just making sure you're being smart, especially on kick return and things like this. You don't want to be getting any holding calls. They did a nice job of keeping it clean there. And now it's time to see what UON have in the bag. They're ultimately going into their version of 4-minute mode. They've got to be able to go downfield, score quickly. They don't necessarily mathematically have an opportunity here. We're going to watch this kind of fake reverse, hands it off to 87, who we've seen carrying this football a couple times this evening.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's good to see them still fight. I just think that, like you said, mathematically, you start running out of time. Even if you do get 2 or 3 quick scores, you're still down by quite a bit. But UON's going to fight until the final whistle, of course, and they're going to try different things. You get an orbit motion going around. Cadwallader throws that way, plants his foot in the ground. Receiver tries to shrug off one defender, falls forward for about 5.
It looked like a bit of a funny catch on that one as well when he did bring it in. It sort of looked like he was catching it like you would run a fade, almost that basket over the shoulder look. But I mean, what great mobility he has to be able to do that in that moment.
Yeah, exactly right. And as we predicted, you see they're now pointing at the scoreboard, taking, trying to get people to take photos. You can tell they're viewing this as a celebration for the next few minutes. University of Nottingham wants to get downfield, get some points for pride late here in the 4th. Cadwallader gets a completion. That's enough for a first down. The chains are going to move, so the clock will stop for a few seconds. Well, Phoebe, usually at the end of the game, we have to ask, who do you think the MVP is? But I don't really think that's much of a question today. I think it's pretty obvious who's the MVP of this one.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to deny Josh Brees and what he's been able to do for this team. It's just been phenomenal, the work that he's done, and you can see why this team is so successful. Now it takes all offense, defense, special teams, but he has really been the workhorse of this offense.
And here is Cadwallader, and he's going to go deep, and that would have been quite the acrobatic catch. It just falls out of bounds, I think, as well. That would have been a drop in the bucket, and tracking that ball in the night sky would have been almost impossible.
I think it's worthwhile, talking about Coach Daniel Mayer, who we saw earlier in the shorts, and ultimately the great job that he's done last year, winning Coach of the Year and American Football Team of the Year. He's really built a staff and an organization that truly breeds and represents success. We're looking at our BUCS camera guys quickly, and what a great job they have done for us. All your updates you're getting on socials is straight from them.
Yeah, exactly right.
Timeout on number 73. The play will begin on my whistle.
All right, so it seems like there was an injury timeout, so we'll start here soon. Yeah, as you were saying, Coach Mayer really built up a good program. I mean, obviously, speaks for itself. 3 finals in a row, looking like sealing up a 4th here. That 4P, you're going to have to start inventing words on what they're doing here in terms of finals in a row. Now oh my goodness, that went off 2 different players that hit 4 hands before it hit the ground.
Oh, that was so nice. And unfortunately, number 2, we've got Tyrell Thomas, who has injured himself, but my goodness.
Timeout.
Yeah, I think Thomas was probably stretching out to try to get the ball and ended up landing on his upper torso, either arm or maybe even his torso itself. So hopefully he's all right. But he gave up his body trying to get the play, and I think he couldn't protect himself from the ground.
No, I think you're right on that one. And Jack Bonicato, I mean, he has been such a go-to receiver for them. Nice little close-up. Who doesn't love a good stretch? Number 7, Jax Crawford. Again, another guy whose name we've called quite a few times this evening. I mean, he's done a master's program. He's been with UE for 4 years now, a big part of their DNA.
He'll have 4 rings then.
I mean, that feels pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, it's most people go their whole. I mean, it's hard to win a championship, and I think doing it so many times makes it look less impressive to some people. But the reality is, doing it year in, year out is more impressive. There's no drop down. There's no rebuild. It's just winning. And if you're UE, that's what you want. You want to say to your next recruitment class, look what you can do if you come in and you compete at this level. And yeah, obviously the results speak for themselves.
Yeah, even talking with Coach Mayer early on, you know, he puts all the credit on his players, on his coordinators, and the great job that they are doing and how they recruit. And it's really a true culture that they have at UE.
Here is Cadwallader rolling out to his right. He's got some blocking, going to have some time to throw it downfield, throws it across his body, and that's going to be bobbled by Silas Starr. Now, Phoebe, with about 3.5 minutes left, I want to emphasize, this has been a great year for the University of Nottingham. It's not going to feel that way to the people in gold tonight. It's not a great feeling. It's going to sting. This is a successful year for them. This is their 3rd final in 4 years. Last year, they didn't get to the final, so they set a mission they wanted to get back, and obviously they've done that. They would have preferred a different outcome today, but in the inaugural year of the National League, they went to the playoffs. They earned a spot in the national final. Out of playing UE 3 times, they beat them once. Obviously, UWE's got the better of the 3 series here, and they're starting to compete. They can build on that for next year, but even disregarding next year, this has been an excellent season for Nottingham.
It has been, and I think you're so right to make sure that they get credit for the amazing work that they have done. Here we've got a punt going off.
And that's going to be a rolling punt. It's going to keep going. Very hard to field. Let's see if we can get open field tackle by Nottingham. And they do. Good tackle to bring him down.
Yeah, nice physicality there from number 22, Nate Leuven, who's done a nice job as well throughout the game. It's not easy to be able to run downfield full speed and tackle somebody and be disciplined in those moments. But yeah, huge congratulations to, University of Nottingham, the work that they've done, Jason Scott, the head coach, and of course, all of the coaches that he has brought on board and the true family that they've made at UON.
Yeah, it's really something. Both these programs are special. I mean, obviously, I think it would be disingenuous to pretend I'm not near and dear to UON, having been on that staff for so long, and still film for the team now. Obviously, I have a lot of friends. I'd call them almost, family, really, at Nottingham, and they're a great program. Tonight didn't go the way they wanted, but a lot of love being sent that way. And UE, you can start hearing some little bit of, it's almost like a hush. It's weird because a few minutes ago they were making so much noise. Now it's almost like they're being quiet because they want to wait for that final whistle. You can tell that they're almost like, everybody be quiet, let's hold them, we're going to win.
And I like that. I like that they're trying to mix it up a little bit like that. It's like when people come out and they just do the shh. I think that makes it just kind of eerie and exciting.
I think Brees did that after his score. So one of them, one of many. Here we have split back for UE. Handoff up the middle. No, it's actually going to be a pass. Deep down the middle, incomplete. Could have, if you threw that on a rope, you might have gotten a completion, but there was coverage in the area as well.
Yeah, and I think now they're just having a little bit of fun testing this defense, forcing them into areas they probably didn't expect to be running at with almost 2 minutes left on the clock, but that's what it's a bit of a foot down on the gas pedal mentality, isn't it?
Yeah, I think they want to accelerate into the final whistle, and they're doing that in different ways. It's kind of interesting to see a team basically run for the entire third quarter and then decide to pass it in the final 2 minutes. But, they're trying something different, trying to spread the ball around. You got a quarterback who's earned those reps. Obviously, Coach Mayer has said he's earned those reps, and they want to get him a chance to throw it. And he does have some big plays in the air. 3 receivers up top. Man in motion, so they're now in empty. And he's going to look, scanning the field, downfield again, and that's going to be a big catch.
still in the open field. And most importantly, Phoebe, helmets are all still on. No, that's not the guy who was losing him earlier, but that's a big catch. And we love seeing these players get so excited for each other. You see his teammates sprint down, help him up, and give him a nice high five.
Yeah, I mean, Josh Petrie on that one, it was beautiful. Quarterback putting the ball where only he could get it, reaching out on that ultimate kind of fade look to it. Just fantastic to be able to see there.
If I had to take a guess, Phoebe.
This is the 2-minute warning.
As we hit the 2-minute warning, if I had to take a guess, I think UWE wants to hit 50. I think in Brit ball, people love a 50 burger. That's like a thing that you talk, if you only, quote unquote, only get 49 points, people talk about it. So I think they're trying to get to 50 because they don't have to do anything here. They could run it 4 times, the game be over.
You are correct. I think you are probably right in that moment, and it's a bit of a kind of, we'll show you ultimately making history in their own way based off of what they're doing. Oh, gosh.
That's an interference call, yeah. I think, so there were 2 defenders there. One of them made a clean defensive play. I think the other one probably had a little bit of grabbing on the lower part of the play. So I think that's what the ref has called. So that'll be a first down, assuming we're right on the call.
Pass interference. Defense number 24. It's a 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
Well, there you go. Now they're in that red zone. Let's take a look at the bottom of your screen. It'll be on the left. There are 2 defenders coming in. I think the lower of the 2, yeah, I mean, 24 comes in and makes a hit just before the ball gets there. It's a little bang-bang, but I think the ref said it got there a little early.
Yeah, and you can see that, and you know that they're going to pick on the fact that you're tired a little bit as well, right? Take those shots, take those chances. I know whilst we're talking about a little bit about UON, just a big shout out to Mapalo Mwansa, who is with the International Player Pathways, played for University of Nottingham, the legacy that's being created and the hard work that he's doing out there at IMG Academy in Bradenton, Florida right now.
Exactly right. As we see a broken tackle, but then running out of bounds for UWE. Yeah, I mean, we talk about legacies, and there's a lot of ways to leave a legacy. A big part of that is, where do your players go? How are they as people when they leave compared to when they showed up? And that's a big measure of a program. And you look now, University of Nottingham has, I think AO is still on a practice squad in the NFL, I believe. And then we also have now another one from IPP. I mean, that's a legacy on the field. Then obviously off the field, if you know these people, you know there's a lot of really gems of human beings among them. But yeah, the IPP, that's a big accomplishment, 2 and 5 years out of that program. Or into that program, I should say.
It's absolutely fantastic and work to be celebrated by these men they're doing a great job to show what can happen if you're a Brit ball player. We've got a couple different fights going on here. And some flopping as well.
Yeah, I mean, he's clearly laughing as he does that. I mean, there were some afters. It probably should have been a flag, but they kind of just said, everybody fighting, no flags. Just keep running. There's a minute and a half left.
Exactly. Just keep the game going. You guys know what you're doing here. But yes, the legacy piece, the coaching pieces as well, in terms of pathways for those trying to coach in the States. It's just fantastic. This is really what the game is about. We're just going to have a little bit of a replay here.
That play's really been there most of the day. That little hesitation for the running back going across the front of the QB, and then you just open up a lane right down the A-gap. This one's a pass over the middle. That's going to be incomplete, but there is a flag.
Yeah, I think that was kind of expected. You're looking at number 24 there, Garrett Pittman.
Yeah, second time.
Pass interference. Defense, number 24. The foul occurred in the end zone, and the ball will be placed on the 2-yard line.
So you go 2-yard line, first and goal for UWE. Now, they haven't run too much this drive. I think they're trying to get something through the air, so I'll be curious to see if they do that again.
Yeah, and they could play it smart here, ultimately. They could kind of kill a little bit of clock. I don't think they're necessarily worried about UON coming back on the field, but
I think they're going to throw it. I think they want some points through the air. It seems to be something they're trying to do. Shows me. Run up the middle, and it is stopped by UON. They shut that down, closed the gate. That's big number 94 for University of Nottingham. That's Adero Okoli making a stop right up the middle.
Yeah, getting some rotation in now, making sure they've got fresh legs, especially in this, right on the front of the goal line like this. Again, the goal line is yellow.
Yeah, there's a white line there. That one doesn't matter. We're looking at yellow lines. That's where they're trying to get to. It's not much to get there. Handoff up the middle. Makes a defender miss. Now he is swallowed by two. That's that rabbit drill style tackling for Nottingham. I don't think he got in.
What a nice play by number 37, the linebacker, Eddie Semenov. I mean, a third-year linebacker. Again, we talked about him earlier. He is new to sport at University of Nottingham, but his patience sat in the gap like that. Just fantastic.
I think this might be the last play of the game if they can get it off. They cannot. I don't think they're going to care that much because the University of West England has just won the National League final.
It's the end of the game.
So that's 4 championships in a row for these UWE Bullets. 4 rings for Coach Mayer and 4 rings for any player who's been here for 4 years. And what a way to cap off the inaugural season in this league, Phoebe.
What a fantastic job by this team. They did not quit. The first half didn't necessarily go their way, but they put their foot down on that gas pedal in the second half and truly came to life. Fantastic work. I mean, credit goes to both teams, but you've got to love what these two head coaches have built from University of Nottingham to UWE. Just amazing cultures, great football players, and some wonderful coaching staffs.
Terrible ending. Y'all saw that celebration on the 50? Didn't work.
And then we have some trash talking here towards the camera. UWE, they're trying to coordinate something. I think they're probably making sure they're all smooth after this. Lots to sort through, pictures to take, handshakes. We're going to go through here. We're going to watch the handshakes. We're going to see the ceremony. They're going to name MVP, though I think most of us suspect that being one person. And then we're going to see the trophy lift. So there's a lot to watch here, folks, even though the game is over. So stay tuned and watch these celebrations. It's a really big deal for these players to raise that trophy, and I'm sure they're excited for it.
Yeah, I mean, look, you can already see them counting 4. They want to get that ring on. I mean, what a fantastic achievement by these young men. And you can see Coach Mayer just really elated for his team. He's definitely someone that seems really quite selfless in those moments. And Coach Jason Scott hugging all of his players. A real moment of gratitude. Again, with this being university, some of these athletes, this is their last time playing for their university. So this is really quite bittersweet. I know earlier we saw University of Warwick, they had a tradition where none of their players, if it was their last game, could leave the field walking, so they had to be picked up by their teammates and carried off the field. It's a really big moment, and Coach T, defensive coordinator, fantastic job. He's showing him, look at all his rings, he's got them. Tell him, Coach T.
I just want to do a small bit of bookkeeping. I made a mistake earlier on the broadcast. I believe Maz, who's in the IPP, is from Loughborough.
Mm-hmm.
I think I said Nottingham earlier, and that was a mistake on my part, so I apologize for that. I want to credit Loughborough for that real quick because I just spotted my mistake. But speaking of Loughborough, I thought of that because we're here at this Loughborough campus. They've hosted yet another set of finals, and this is Touchdown Tuesday. Phoebe, what do you think of the first ever Touchdown Tuesday?
I love the Touchdown Tuesday. I think we need this every single year. Bucks, lock it in. We are here every Tuesday. We've taken ownership of an entire day. BUCS Wednesdays, you can have Wednesdays, but we're taking over Tuesdays.
Yeah, no, it's been really fun. I mean, we had 3 finals in one day. I'd be curious in the comments. Let us know. Have you watched all 3 finals? I have.
I mean, you have been an absolute trooper. I don't know. For those at home, Sean did the first game on his own. I know you guys listen to me and I talk too much, but to talk through a whole game on your own is truly a spectacular feat. Not many can do that. So we're so grateful to all of you for tuning in and hanging out with us for 3 games. I'm a part-timer. I only came for the second and third game. But we are so grateful. Hope you had lots of yummy snacks and had some friends over, got to watch this. Maybe you're watching this in a pub or bar somewhere or with your university. It's just such a great night. Let us know where you are watching from because we want to know. We're up here. We're watching from inside this room, which is much cooler than it was earlier. We were
Oh my goodness, we were scorching in the
being
sun,
barbecued,
Phoebe.
weren't we,
It was
really?
unreal. Yeah, I'm going to see if we have some comments here. Let's see. We got a lot of people celebrating. They want to. Let's see. Most people are predicting. They're saying UWE's won 4, and people are picking them as favorites already for next year. That's quite the bold prediction. We don't even know who's going to be on the squad, but that's it's 4 in a row for them. It's really quite something as we see Nottingham finishing their handshakes. Quite a few players, and an exciting time for some of these folks in their first year. I know that roster is full of a lot of first and second year talent, so they're going to be eager to come back next season.
Yeah, they are. And now the standard's been set, right? They understand what it takes to get to this level if you're a first year, if you're a rookie or anything like that. And so you ultimately know what this kind of elite level platform looks like, feels like. It's so exciting. Both these teams, of course, having rookies, having some people up from their youth programs. We've heard both coaches talking about that this evening. You've got some players who are graduating, and this is their last game. So it's celebrating all of those people, all of those coaches, and just what a great game of football we've been able to watch on a Tuesday night under the lights to kick off Big Wednesday.
Yeah, it's really quite special, and I just want to take a moment to talk about just playing sports at university. I mean, obviously this is the American football final, but it is part of BUCS Big Wednesday. It's kind of the opening ceremonies almost, so to speak, with this what's so-called Touchdown Tuesday. Finding sport at university is such a big deal, and it's such a blessing to have all these schools that want to provide a platform for you to not just get better at a sport, but get better as a person and have a great time doing that. I know from personal experience, playing at university is one of the best decisions I ever made in my life. I didn't even know that they had the sport that I liked. I did play American football here. I didn't know that even existed. Someone reached out to a friend, or they recruited me. They said, you should play American football. I think the accent gave it away that that'd be something I'm interested in. And so if you love sport, or if you love your friends, I would encourage you to just say, try a sport. There's so many to choose from the absolute elite level we're seeing here to a little bit more relaxed throughout university. There's so many options for university sport.
You're so spot on. I mean, I played for University of Birmingham and their associated team essentially to the university, and I've got friends for life now. Again, flag football, a really great opportunity. 2028, it's going to be in the Olympics. We have men's programs, women's programs, youth. We've actually got some of our under 21s players out here watching today. We've got our 17U boys, girls, 15U mixed. I mean, there's so many different ways to get involved in sport, whether you're looking through BUCS or through BAFA. And I think for all of us, most of us listening love this. And the first thing we would tell people is just go for it, get involved. The American football community is so wonderful. It's growing all the time. I'm so grateful to be a part of this.
Yeah.
It's just a fantastic world we're in.
I had such a surreal moment walking around the pitches throughout the day, and you seeing all these familiar faces because there are so many programs represented right now coming together, because as the university season winds down, the spring and summer season starts winding up for a lot of these teams, and a lot of these players are going to local teams throughout the UK. Some of them be going to Europe, ELF. Both these squads have players going to various European teams. And then, the S for a lot of this, us that we need to focus on, students. I know that's not what it stands for in BUCS, but
No, you're right. You're so correct. And, finding a way to get an education and play sport, or maybe you've never even thought about playing before, but your university offers a team. It's just great opportunities. And even for a lot of the guys that you're seeing here today, some might not have been signed with ELF teams or been scouted by GB, but now they've got film on themselves, and that's a huge part of it as well. Very rarely do you get to have a full live stream, all these different angles showcasing the amazing athleticism and skill sets of our players. But now you walk away, you've got film, you can show coaches, you can reach out to ELF teams and showcase the amazing talent that we have here.
Yeah, and I think another thing as well is, so UWE has quite a few Americans. Their accents are very familiar as you and I walk around on the field, and that provides an opportunity as well. Both these teams have some Americans. I don't have a head count on how many it is. UWE probably has quite a few, probably double digits at least.
Obviously, UON has some as well. That's a big thing. I didn't come here as some big sports scholar or anything, so I didn't have the recruitment pitch that these guys had. But I can say from personal experience, coming to England and going to university, it's just so cool. It's just so fun. It's just a different culture. The banter, the partying, the studying. I learned so much at uni. I also made these lifelong friends. I found this sport that I got to be a part of this community. And so, yeah, for these Americans, I know they go back and tell their friends how much fun it is. I've seen it, because then they recruit their friends and say, you should do it. You should go there next year. And they do.
And why would you not? You get to live in an incredible foreign country, get an education, play a sport that you love. For a lot of people as well, if you're playing D3, we've got a couple D3 players out here. You in the States, you have to pay to play D3. And so you can come and play in a totally different country, experience a brand new culture, and there's so much talent to offer over here and so much excitement. I've been here 12 years now, so y'all can't get rid of me.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, people say, when's the accent go away? The accent never goes away, but the longer I'm here, I find my food taste differ a little bit. All of a sudden, I crave mayo instead of ranch. It starts coming up there.
Oh, no.
So here we have the officials coming up. Every official that is in a final gets a special medal. It's not a gold or silver medal that's just like left over or something. They make very special medals for these refs because they earn it. The game cannot go forward without these officials doing the job in the 8-person crew.
And here you see our BAFA CEO, Chad Earlston, shaking hands in the gray coat, really celebrating these officials and the coaches, of course. Chad has not been in his role for very long, but has been doing a fantastic job for BAFA, and it's great to see. Earlier on, we had Chris Long from NFL UK. Now you've got the CEO of BAFA. It really speaks to the unity of what we're building here in the UK.
Yeah, exactly right. I believe up next we have, after the officials' medals, we usually have the second place team get their... No, it's MVP first, and then it's the next medal, I believe. So here is Brees, as expected, being named as the MVP. And he's got a pose for his photos. Well deserved. So here is UWE celebrating with their MVP, their newly named MVP, Brees. I think it was pretty clear about midway through the third who was going to lift that particular award. What a great job for him. Certainly not the only player who made plays, but he made the most of them, and he made all of them count. Several touchdowns on the day and big runs.
Yeah, and seems like such a hard worker as well. Continuously, he never let up once. You never see him take himself out. You never saw him slow down. His burst remained the same. Just incredible to see from that young man, and what a great representative for his team as well. He seems to truly be loved by all of his teammates.
Yeah, you can tell they were pretty excited for him. Here we have the University of Nottingham receiving their medals. It's always a bit of a bittersweet moment. You see players and coaches react differently to getting silver medals. It is a major accomplishment. You're the second best team in the entire UK. That's not something to shake a stick at, but I do know that there is a sting to getting that. I've seen players, they kind of look at it and go, am I supposed to be excited about this? As someone who's about twice the age of most of these players, I'll say, you should be excited and you should be proud of yourself. Today will sting. Today will hurt. We've now seen 3 winners and 3 losers on this Touchdown Tuesday. The good memories are going to stick around.
They are. They're going to remember these moments, and as they should, where they got to with these teams, with their coaches. These are the feelings, being under the lights out here on a beautiful Tuesday night. This is incredible. This is what it's built off of, and meeting with the CEO. You've got Tony Ducobo, the American football manager for BUCS. I mean, all the top people are out here celebrating these young men who have achieved so much to be able to get here. And that's a huge achievement in its own right.
Exactly right. And now Jason getting the handshakes here, talking to these folks from BUCS. Been around the university game a long time, as we now see the medical staff and other coaches moving their way through that line.
Yeah, it's great to see. I mean, even some of the GB physios are working for University of Nottingham as well. A lot of our GB programs practicing at University of Nottingham. So there's a lot of crossover there too. It's just fantastic to see.
Yeah, there's a few different hubs and pockets for American football around. Obviously, you look at the finals winners today, obviously the Bristol area, very big with UWE and SGS down there. The Midlands is another hot spot. Obviously, London's got a lot of great teams. Up north in Scotland, they have good pockets where they're kind of condensed together. But the game is growing and expanding, and then those pockets are getting more enriched.
And that's what you want to see. You want to see the floor rising, right? We want to all be growing and getting ready again. Look at the excitement, the announcement of UWE becoming the winners for the 4th time. Exactly
right. Yeah, and here we see leading up the front that big QB. I mean, who else, right? He's running downfield and he's getting his medal. Get a big maybe get an extended neckline. He's so big and broad up there at quarterback. And you got all these players trickling in. Look at them. They're so happy as they deserve big smiles across their faces.
Yeah, it's no small feat to be able to achieve 4 back-to-back wins after a hard-fought season. Again, you talked about earlier, being tied with UON coming into this game today. Nothing is ever given. Nothing is ever guaranteed. You've got to be able to play every single down, and UWE on offense and defense did a really spectacular job. Special teams stepping up big, multiple blocked kicks. That's a huge part of that as well. Those are points that also lead to momentum, and momentum that could have easily shifted to University of Nottingham's side, especially looking at going into the half. This was a really close game.
Yeah, it was a close game at half, and Nottingham obviously fought hard all game, but that first half was especially close and competitive. It really opened up in the second for UWE. As they stand around that champion banner, we will have the trophy soon, and we'll have plenty of highlights from throughout the game as well. And there is Coach Mayer. I doubt he's feeling the cold right now. He feels pretty warm with that new necklace he's got.
With glee.
And here is UWE. They're celebrating. I believe the trophy's going to come in. They usually lift it right in front of this banner. A few more folks going through that line. It's a big staff over at UWE.
It is, and that only helps. You want to be able to have as many people around your players, influencing them in such a positive way, coaching them up, helping them to be successful. And I think it's a big testament to Coach Mayer and the great work that he has done. It's a very clear vision in terms of where UWE wants to go and who they want to be.
Exactly right. You see that flag sprawled out in front of those proud UWE Bullets getting ready for the camera. That trophy's coming in, the inaugural National League trophy.
You can hear the joy coming across through the microphones. I mean, just how incredible is this? And a football.
Here we have that trophy coming in. And the public comes out for the UWE Bullets celebrating their National League Championship victory.
And what a moment for Coach Mayer to hand that over to Coach Frankie, and really I think says a lot to how he feels about his coaching staff, the belief, the empowerment, and again, top scoring offense of the year. Terrific job. Coach Frankie's been with the team for 6 seasons now, so absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, it's an exciting time for them. Obviously, this 4 in a row is big. And we're going to have some highlights here, I believe, from the big game. And we still have plenty to go, so make sure you stick around. And yeah, so we get that flag for UWE waving in the air as they celebrate, all the cameras in place. Hey, his helmet still can't stay on, but you know what? He doesn't need it right now. Handing that trophy around, sharing it amongst friends. As we see the Bullets celebrating there, that night sky in Loughborough. What a host this Loughborough University campus has been. There's so much going on right now on this event, and they've done a great job hosting. A few more photo shots for the Bullets. And here are today's highlights from the National League Final. Early on in the game, UWE blocked a punt and then brought that inside the 10-yard line. That set the tone for this early as the UWE Bullets converted that into a score. MVP Josh Brees following his blockers, trucking off defenders and finding his way in the end zone. First half was the more competitive affair. We had big plays on both sides of the ball. Cadwallader with some quick completions early on and some deep plays as well. Cadwallader moving around in the pocket, found his way with his arm and with his legs to get University of Nottingham towards that end zone. A little bit of help from some afters by UWE, but Nottingham still had to capitalize and get some points on the board. Cadwallader working mostly out of the empty set. Got a slant pass to Bonacato, who brought it in for a touchdown. We heard his name several times throughout the day. UWE, however, were quick to answer. Their big QB handing things off to Brees for yet another score. Isom and Brees in that backfield led the way for the first 3 quarters before rotating through more people. Brees with a conversion for an extra 2 points, tacking things on. That brought us to 14 to, well, we ultimately had 14-12 because University of Nottingham had another score, keeping his balance and making a big play. Nottingham's Garrett Pittman got those points on the board. That's how we got our way to 14-12. Just before the half, we had that score. Block kicks were a bit of a story today. We had block punts, block field goals, punts snapped over people's heads, ultimately leading to some points being left on the board. Fans from programs throughout the UK sprawled here. We saw jerseys from our other finals throughout Touchdown Tuesday, and fans on the sideline. Isom with another touchdown handoff to Brees. Brees earning his MVP, making it clearly his by about midway through the third. Capping things off with some more points following his big blockers. Cadwallader kept fighting throughout it here, but he ultimately had to move around the pocket a bit too much. Some sacks throughout the third and fourth quarter made things slow down. Isom opened things up with a fake screen pass, and as he was getting hit, an absolute bomb downfield with a trot into the end zone for UWE and Justin O'Neal-Riley. Switching quarterbacks in towards the end of the game, UWE offense changed up a bit, went through the air. That's Ethan Gritzinger with the touchdown. He stayed on with a few more passes and managed to get a nice corner route and a diving catch by Tim Lucas for the UWE Bullets. Switching away from Bryson, spreading the love, we got a few more points on the board with some different backs, as we see here. That's Alex Eden. Back through the air late in the fourth quarter, a deep pass over the middle, and a few yards after the catch by Josh Petrie. UWE thought this was theirs about midway through the fourth, and that's what proved to be true. There's your MVP, Josh Brees, big number 5. University of Nottingham capping off a strong season, and UWE capping off their season with bubbly, a trophy, and a 4th ring within 4 seasons. The final game of this Touchdown Tuesday, opening up for BUCS Big Wednesday, ends with a victory for the UWE Bullets. On the sidelines now is Phoebe Schechter to speak more about today's game.
Excitement. We've seen some of the players having to step off to the side just in the absolute joy of the moment, the recognition of winning 4 rings. It is absolutely phenomenal, and of course, massive congratulations to UWE, but also to Brees, who really deserved that MVP. It was great to watch those highlights back and truly remind us of how spectacular it has been. I mean, what an evening we have had here. Fans are still along the side waiting for their teammates, their friends, their family, their loved ones to come over and really check in with each other. It's exciting times, and hopefully we'll be able to speak with some of the coaches after this and discuss the incredible win that occurred here tonight. Ending the game 42-12 was just an absolute phenomenal feat. I think they might have been going a little bit for that 50 burger, but we're actually going to talk with the offensive coordinator in just a minute, and it'll be just all the stuff that you need to have. So we're going to invite Frankie Pankhurst into the group. First off, hello, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
I mean, Frankie had a coach with me, and I had a coach with him for a little bit there, but look, first off, the most high-scoring offense throughout the entire season, right? Tell us a little bit about how this season has gone for you. We've seen, and we will talk to your MVP in just a little bit.
The superstar, Josh Brees.
The superstar is lingering right now, but congratulations, Coach. This has been phenomenal.
Yeah, I mean, I actually have no idea on any stats. I don't know how many points we've scored. I don't know where we've racked up.
42-12 was the final score.
Today. Okay, yeah, that was, it was at halftime 14-12. Did not think that was the way it was going to go, and I'm an optimistic guy. But the game plan worked. It was, we know we can run up front. We know we can try and control the game, even though we only had 16 plays in the first half, which felt crazy when they had twice as many. But trying to control the game with the run game, forcing them to send. 24 at safety is a great player. Plays downhill hard though against the run. Trying to make them into that point where we got to, where we could hit the seams and the fades, really quick one-on matchups against cover 0, and yeah, get big plays. So it kind of worked in the end.
It definitely worked in the end, and I'm glad that you brought up halftime. I mean, this is a tale of two halves essentially. What was happening in the first half to how you guys really put your foot down in the second half. What was that messaging in that halftime break?
I mean, to be fair, for me to the offense, it was very much, we've got this. Like, luckily we chart all our plays. We knew exactly where we were. And it was only 16 plays on 4 drives. One drive, we had a bad snap over the QB's head that we had to punt on. The other drive, we got the ball with less than 2 minutes to go, and we had 2 5-yard penalties on our slot receiver. So we kind of shot ourselves in the foot on 2 drives. So, I know as long as we're not giving away penalties, which has been the big message all year, since the first game of the year against Nottingham when we lost 21-20, where penalties killed us, it's just, we're good. Like, we're moving the ball when we don't shoot ourselves in the foot. And that was it. We knew that the bigger issue was defense. Defense were on the field for like 18 minutes of the first half. So it's more, in fact, not the issue, but we had to try and help them by a long drive. So we came out second half, ran the ball really well, bled 6 minutes off the clock, which is exactly what I wanted. It was keep our defense fresh, make sure Nottingham think they have to chase the game. They have to air out even more rather than dinking and dunking their 5-yard hitches. And actually then that got to a point where it stressed them out. They lost all of their efficiency, and we just put the foot down. So yeah.
I mean, the game plan definitely came to life, and you and I had spoken a little bit about putting in your second QB and you and being able to see him in the game like that. How did that feel, being able to really reward somebody who worked so hard throughout the season?
So Ethan's done a great job. So he actually went to college with 24 from Nottingham. The safety there, great player as well. But Ethan only joined us in January. He's done a great job getting up to speed with the offense, and he'd earned it, I think, getting on the field. I'd always planned to put him in the game, drive 3 or 4 to give them both a run out. It just wasn't a fact. Fourth drive was 1 minute 30 to go in the first half, so he didn't really get the opportunity early. But yeah, it was nice. Everybody in offense played, everybody in defense played. Even our fresher running back Alex Eden came through as his first full season of 11-man football, got a nice 2-point conversion, got stopped to 1 yard to go at the end of the game to score his first touchdown in the final. But yeah, it was, so we spread it out. Everyone had a good day, created some memories. So yeah, all good.
You absolutely did. I mean, it was fantastic for us to be able to watch all the different personnel that you were able to put in the game. I'm not going to keep you. You deserve to go celebrate with your
Phoebe.
team. Thank you so much and congratulations,
Thank you
Coach.
very much. Get the superstar Brees up here. Come
I am
on.
going to get Brees up here. I'm going to trade one for the other if that's okay. I appreciate you. Really great job. Awesome. Up you come. We got our next amazing guest joining us. First off, wow, I mean, MVP, Josh Brees, fantastic job. How are you feeling right now? I mean, this is a huge part of the four-peat that you guys have created.
I feel amazing. I mean, so it started with a lot of me at the very beginning, but it turned into team football, and that's exactly what it's about, you know? I got us going the first half. My team trusted me, they rallied behind me, and then it started opening up a lot of opportunities for everybody. I think we had like 5 different people score tonight, so that's a testament to our team, testament to how we operate, and testament to how we design these plays.
And I have to say, one of my favorite plays of the evening is actually, you've run the same play a couple times, you run that kind of wheel out to the sideline, and it is literally a screenshot of you pointing to your open receiver in the end zone. I mean, your awareness, and I feel like that play almost embodies who you are and who this team is, where it's all about the greater good together. Walk me through how you were able to understand where your second QB is in, Ethan, and you're pointing to the open receiver in the end zone.
Exactly like I said. I try to study this game. I mean, I love it with everything I have. Like, I've been playing this game since I was 7 years old. I've been playing 12 straight months of football. It's a part of me at this point, you know? So I try to see the game, even though I'm a running back, try to see the game as a quarterback so I can try to understand everything that goes on so that I can do my job and excel to open up everybody else.
Well, you can absolutely see that, and you are elevating the game, not just for your team, but for everyone in the country. I think there was no lack of joy watching you out there, your jump cuts, what you were able to do. What's next for you? What is the next thing that you want to achieve? I mean, it's just been so phenomenal to watch you play this evening.
Yeah, so next for me, I'm going over to the GFL. I'm going to play in Paderborn with the Dolphins. And like I said, that was a team I was with this past summer. So I played 12 straight months of football. So I'm going to keep it going, keep growing the game in Europe because, you know, I've been out here for 3 years now. So I'm just excited to keep it going.
Look, we are so excited to talk to you. Thank you so much for your time, and go enjoy your win with your team. You've absolutely deserved it. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Have a good
Thanks.
one.
You too. And we're going to be bringing in our next superstar. He's been with you all day long. The 3 games he's done back to back, the true hero of the moment. Welcome in Sean Endicott. I feel like we need a drum roll as a background. I mean, congratulations to you.
Congratulations to them. I mean, what a great day this has been, this Touchdown Tuesday, seeing 3 finals in one day and seeing that cap off with the National League's inaugural championship trophy. It's been really quite fun.
It's been amazing. It's been so wonderful for us to finally work together.
Yeah, exactly.
I absolutely enjoyed this. Thank you to everybody at home. You guys are troopers. We hope you enjoyed today, and make sure you tune in next year for another Touchdown Tuesday. We appreciate you. Have a great night.
Football America UK, your ultimate destination for all things American football. Visit our Midlands-based showroom to try on and get fitted for the latest gear. Or shop online for a huge range of equipment, NFL merchandise, and personalized teamwear stores. Plus, with Klarna, ClearPay, and PayPal Pay in 3, getting the gear you need has never been easier. Get game ready with Football America UK, in-store or online at footballamerica.co.uk.
Glasses of milk for everyone all around afterwards, I think, and you should be milking every moment, and that's what we're going to introduce. Milk Every Moment, a new campaign to help students understand the benefit of milk on their sporting performance. An affordable, natural, versatile and widely available choice after exercise. Milk provides a whole host of nutrients, vitamins and minerals to help fuel your workouts. A great option if you are on a budget.
What's your favourite recipe to make using milk?
Mac and cheese. I can go with strawberry milk. Pancakes.
Yeah. Nice.
With that in mind, let's talk about milk, and BUCS being proud to promote the Milk Every Moment campaign.
Milk provides high quality protein which helps support muscle growth and repair, and B vitamins to assist with energy release. A glass of milk is great for refueling and repairing those tired muscles after a physical match.